Hi guys, welcome back to Chris Cowlin's channel for this live watch-along for the Carabao Cup semi-final. Second leg, Liverpool versus Tottenham Hotspur at Anfield. It's the big one. It is arguably one of the most important, if not the most important game since the Champions League final 2019. I'm completely ignoring that Carabao Cup final we had under Ryan Mason when we sacked Jose Mourinho just a few days before. That one didn't even exist. This is the most important one, and I'm here for the live watch along. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Twitch. Thank you so much for joining me. Please do get in the comments. Get any questions you have, any thoughts you have on tonight's game, any thoughts you have on the team news into the comments, especially on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, give this video a like. Make sure you subscribe to Chris's channel if you're not already a subscriber. It's at Chris Cowlin. He really is the Don of Tottenham Hotspur content, just giving you so much content every single day. And tonight is no different. This is the itinerary for what's happening on Chris's channel. I'll be with you for the watch along. Then straight after, I will do an instant match reaction video, followed by the fan show where I speak to Tottenham fans from all around the world, asking them their thoughts on the result, asking them if they're going to be going to Wembley. Let's hope we all are going to Wembley. And then at about 11 o'clock, Chris will be back with the Spurs Chat podcast tonight alongside Craig Dearman, Josh Cowan, and Blake Derrere. So make sure you keep tuned to Chris's channel for the rest of the night. It's such a huge one for Spurs, a huge one for Ange Postecoglou. And for the future of this young, hungry squad. The league is not going how we want it to. We got a huge win, obviously, at the weekend against Brentford away, showing that we do have the kind of chops to get in a fight and to win a fight when adversity hits. And that's one of the first times I've seen us do that well. I think it's fair to say adversity will probably hit tonight at Anfield, a ground where we have such an appalling record. I think we've only won one time at Anfield in the last, maybe even in the Premier League era. So on that basis, stats aren't with us. However, we have a 1-0 lead from the home leg. And I don't know. I don't want to hex it, but I just have a feeling. I just have a feeling that it's going to be the no trophy derby in the final. Newcastle turned over Arsenal last night. And I feel like that might be written in the stars. But for that to happen, this Ange Postecoglou side, this young, talented side who are decimated by injuries, are going to have to show something they haven't shown this season yet. And that is go away to the big gun Liverpool, who we haven't played at Anfield yet, to be fair. We did beat them at home in the Carabao Cup first leg, of course. But can we go there and get a draw or get a win and really prove to the rest of this country that Tottenham, this project, is growing and it is doing what Ange Postecoglou said he always does in his second season, which is win something. Okay, let's get into the team news. If you haven't already heard it, this is the Tottenham team that Big Ange has chosen. Kinski in goal. There was some talk that Vicario is back in first team training at the moment, but he is not available for selection because Austin is on the bench. So Kinski in goal. Archie Gray will be playing right back. Jed Spence at left back to have another great battle with Mo Salah. Then Ben Davis on the left side of the two centre-halves with Kevin Danso making his debut, the new signing coming in. And I think that's a no-brainer, really. A big, physical, quick player. And he will be up against Darwin Nunez today, so that'll be a good battle. Then in midfield, I'm actually quite pleased. Ange has gone for legs and energy and strength. Three-man midfield, Basuma, Bentancur, and Sarr brings all three of those traits to the game. And then in the forward line, Deki Kulusevski on the right, Sonny on the left, and Richarlison starts up front, which means, of course, our other new signing, Matthias Tell, starts on the bench. I think he's a great option to bring off the bench. And for once, it's not been that common recently, has it? But we actually have some strength to bring off the bench. Our bench is Austin, Pedro Porro getting his first rest for so long. He could be a good weapon to bring on in the second half. Reguilon, Bergvall, Ajayi, Casanova, Olusesi, Mikey Moore, and as I mentioned, Matthias Tell. So really, off the bench, options in Porro, Bergvall, Moore, and Tell to bring changes if needed in terms of attacking, but also to bring energy off the bench if we need legs in that second half. In terms of Liverpool's team, Kelleher in goal. He tends to be their Carabao Cup keeper, doesn't he? He's done really well in penalty shootouts for them down the years. Then Bradley in for Trent Alexander-Arnold, who is not available through injury. Then Robertson on the left, Konate and Van Dijk, their top centre-backs playing. Then in midfield, Gravenberch, Jones, Szoboszlai. And that is why Ange has gone for energy, because they are full of energy and running. And then the forward line, Salah, Nunez. And for me, along with Salah, their most dangerous player, Cody Gakpo, really lovely player. Reminds me of kind of Dele at his peak, coming in off that left-hand side. Just a super dangerous player. On the bench for Liverpool, Yaros, Endo, Diaz, McAllister, Chiesa, Elliott, Jota, Tsimikas, and Kwanzaa. So a deeper bench for Liverpool, I think it's fair to say. They have not suffered this season with the injuries that Spurs have, but at least our bench is a little bit stronger today. In terms of talking points, of course, Kevin Danso starting. I don't think he had a choice, really, Big Ange Postecoglou, and he's 26 years old. He's experienced. He grew up in England, so there's no adapting needing to be done in terms of the language. And I think pushing Archie Gray out to the right-hand side to allow Pedro Porro to have a rest and bring in Danso is the right decision. He's quick, and he's going to be in a big physical battle. Jamie Redknapp was saying, and Jamie Carragher actually in the Sky Sports studio, they were saying that they wouldn't be surprised if Nunez kind of pulls onto Ben Davies in this game to try and kind of beat him in a physical battle. Be interesting to see what happens there. Obviously, Richarlison starting up front. He's played a lot of minutes since he's come back from injury, but he does hate Liverpool. Used to play for Everton, has scored a few important goals for Liverpool. Unfortunately, he also scored a late equaliser, took his shirt off, and then we conceded late a couple of seasons ago. But for me, Richarlison is the epitome of something that I think is vital for Spurs tonight. We need discipline. We need discipline from Richarlison. We need to make sure we don't give anything to Liverpool for free. No stupid sendings off. The atmosphere will be huge. The crowd will be baying for stuff like that. And we need to be super careful that we don't fall into any traps. I feel like tonight is a huge game for Son Heung-min. I feel like his form is improving over the last few games. But on a night like this, we are going to need to be clinical. If we make any chances, we're going to need to take them, because there is just no way, it seems anyway, that Liverpool aren't going to score tonight. So we're going to need a goal at least ourselves, maybe even two. And I think Sonny getting some space in behind their fullback, maybe him and Kulusevski is where the chances may fall to. Like I mentioned, Nunez starting ahead of Diaz, maybe a bit of a surprise, but perhaps that's because Arne Slot might have foreseen that Archie Gray would be starting alongside Ben Davies, and maybe that's why he thought maybe a bit more physicality up front might be the call. But obviously, Danso is starting, and maybe if Danso can try and attach himself to Nunez, that would be a big physical battle. But like I said earlier, Nunez, you'd think, would try and go and get himself near Ben Davies. But Ben Davies has the experience. He's played centre-back in World Cups, in European Championships, and his form is excellent at the moment. Never gives less than 110%, never performs less, as far as I'm concerned, than a kind of 7 out of 10. The players coming out on the out of the tunnel now. And listen, I've been saying for a while now, it didn't surprise me at all last night that over 2 legs and last night that Newcastle beat Arsenal. I do feel like in a game like this, there is a motivation difference. Maybe it's only a few percentage points, but a team like Spurs and a team like Newcastle who really need this, really want something like this, will be highly, highly motivated. Whereas in reality, I'm not suggesting Liverpool won't be motivated and that Arsenal weren't motivated, but they have the Champions League, Liverpool. They're top of the Premier League. They're still in the FA Cup as well. Realistically, this is the lowest of their list of priorities. So for me, if Tottenham can get through the first 15 minutes, and let's face it, over the years, Spurs have a habit of conceding early goals in exactly games like this. But if we can get through the first 15 minutes, maybe the dream is to make this a bit like the Manchester City two-legged quarterfinal of the Champions League in 2019, when we won 1-0 at home and then we got a couple of early goals away. And then that allowed us, even though Man City came back in the second half, in the first half and the second half, it allowed us then to sneak over the line at the last. I think we're going to need to score some goals. I really do. And I do think it's good news for Spurs that Trent Alexander-Arnold isn't playing, because in terms of us playing our high line with Kinski, it's a high starting position, and putting pressure on the ball with a high line, Trent is one of those players who does have the weight of pass to get it over the top perfectly. And that is something that, thankfully, we're not going to have to face today. That doesn't mean that you don't have a lot of talent all over the pitch, though. Guys, I'm going to get into the comments now. I'll probably be on a little bit of a delay, so I probably won't be that much in the comments during the first half. But of course, get your comments in and we'll go through all of them during halftime. I'll get in them to now, though. Patch Thomas, thank you for writing in, says Bento to have another stormer. Let's hope so. Tarzan says Porro has been terrible for ages. Exposed defensively and little in attack. Good he's not playing. Gray, more conservative and better defender. Well, I think Porro's a great player, and he's just been played into the ground a little bit, to be honest. Nick Palmer, Bentancur and Basuma marshalling the midfield will be key tonight. Completely agree. Gardu, thank you for writing in, mate. Ange implied he looked for a way to rest Porro when he mentioned he's played every minute for 3 or so months. Absolutely. Anders Helgeson, what is your prediction on this match? As You'll Never Walk Alone is being sung heartily at Anfield, as always. I think that intimidates opposition teams, but it shouldn't. I don't think it should. My prediction on this match, Anders Helgeson, goals, I think, and I'm hoping that Tottenham can get a 2-2 draw. That's what I'm hoping for. Let's see what happens. If the game has kicked off for you guys, just to let you know, they're just kind of, what are we, 8:01? They're just kind of doing their little warm-ups now, realistically, where I am. But I will keep... Yeah, the game's obviously kicked off for you guys. You're already a minute in, so I'm quite delayed. I'm going to come out of the chat for that, and I'll try and level up the thing when mine starts. Yeah, here we go. I found a stream where it's more on. Okay, so I'm about 30 seconds behind as the ball comes to Kinski. And he goes long first time because they were pressing very high up the pitch. And Liverpool now coming through, but a good little touch in there from Basuma. Comes to Archie Gray, and he just plays it safe and keeps it out. Good decision from Archie. Liverpool get the ball going early. Kanate goes out wide to Salah. Faces up Jed Spence for the first time. Sonny's there helping him. And Spence gets a foot in well. Good start for Jed Spence there. I wondered if Salah there would try and go down the line into his right foot to surprise Spence early. But he didn't. And as you'd expect this game to be most of the game, Spurs just sitting in at the moment and Liverpool playing the ball about. There is some ridiculous stat of how Van Dijk has only lost 3 times in his entire career at Anfield, as Robertson just runs the ball out of play there on the left-hand side. So, you know, the chance of getting a win here, not huge, but a draw would do it for Spurs. A draw would do it. As they cut to Ange Postecoglou on the bench. Ange won 3 cups in 2 seasons as Celtic manager. Richarlison has lost the ball already and gone down with a head injury, but the ref's not doing anything about it, and now he has to. And I think Rishi's got to be careful in situations like this. He doesn't, I don't know, maybe he's actually injured, but if not, he can't be kind of getting the Liverpool fans whistling and on his back, because we just what we need to do is kind of calm the... Oh yeah, he does get elbowed in the face by Van Dijk there, you know. Oh, I'll tell you what, it's an elbow in the neck from Van Dijk on Richarlison. Oh, and now this is exactly what I was saying at the beginning of the game. Richarlison has got absolute anger on his face, and we need him to be disciplined. We need him to be disciplined. And he's already shoulder barging Van Dijk. The referee's got to get hold of this here, because that was an elbow and it was on purpose. Richarlison needs to be careful here. I have a fear about this. I really do. He needs to use this positively. Because he will. Yeah, you know what Rishi's like. Anyway, the game starts again with Kanate. Nunes playing on the last line. Playing on the shoulder of Danso. Kelleher now to Van Dijk. And Sarr is... And Sonny just played around him there. Bradley coming down the right. Sonny is working, but he's beaten out wide and comes inside now. This is good football from Liverpool, and the keeper's going to have to come, and Kinski does really well. Comes in the inside left channel as Salah tried to play the ball through. Good stuff. Good work. Good starting position from Kinski. He's tempted to throw it out. He doesn't. Liverpool have a very high 4-man press on here. And Kinski dinks it over into Spence, who's has to go back to Ben Davis, who's under pressure. Goes back to Kinski, who has to go long. It's a good flick on in midfield from Basuma there. Very important. Oh, and a bad ball in midfield comes to Kulusevski. Oh, and then he nearly lost the ball there. He's got to be strong here. And Archie Gray helps him out well down the right-hand side. Tries to put an early cross in towards Richarlison, who's bumped. Rishi's got to be stronger there. But that was good from Archie Gray. He was bumped while the ball was coming to him in the air there, Rishi. And a good tackle from Yves Bissouma in midfield. Five minutes gone. This is okay for now. And Kinski comes and clears there. Falls to Liverpool. Spurs not able to really get the ball down at the moment. Van Dijk. And Robertson's made a big run, so Van Dijk looking for that. Comes to Gakpo, who turns Kulusevski and wins a free kick there. That was good from Gakpo. Good. Took the ball down well. There is VAR in this game, by the way. And of course, like the first leg, the referee then will be announcing the decisions that he makes. Van Dijk lays it out wide to Konate. Liverpool's fullback starting very high and wide. Salah dinks it over into Nunes. Oh, beautiful back heel. And a great block from Bissouma. And then a chance for Salah. And it's deflected into Kinski's arms. And Spurs have given it away. I have to say, they should have just held on to the ball now. Now they're down at the... They were into the byline. Another cross comes into the box. And a good tackle. And now Sarr has the ball. And he gives it to Rishi. He's got to do something with it here, Rishi. And he doesn't. He wins a free kick, actually. Well done, Richarlison. And it's Van Dijk again. Comes through the back of him. But that was the first time Liverpool got to the byline there. And Nunes is down. He's injured. I'd actually probably rather Nunes on the pitch than Diaz at the moment. And Kinski and the two centre-backs having a little word with each other there. And that might be because they've just given the ball away, playing it short too quickly. Liverpool kind of pressing them very high up with four players. Yeah, some people in the comments I'm noticing thinking that should have been a sending off of Van Dijk early doors. But the ref's never going to give that in a semi-final, realistically. If there's any way that a ref can make out that it wasn't on purpose, even though it clearly was. Yeah, and then the second one, Van Dijk goes through the back of Richarlison as well. So Van Dijk's had two there. Two already. Nunes limping off the side of the pitch. I imagine he's going to try and run it off. 8 minutes gone now, though. So it'll be interesting to see what happens when Spurs next have the ball in the back, because, as I said, they're really getting pressed high with four players from Liverpool kind of stopping the back four from getting it through into midfield. Kinski goes short again, and because Nunes is off the pitch, they have a bit more time and are able to get it to Bissouma, who gives it out wide to Kulusevski. Robertson at him, and now this is the first chance Spurs have to get it down as Danso finds Ben Davies. Comes inside to Bissouma, and he has Archie Gray near him, who's going to go back to Danso. And really, they're just waiting until Nunes comes back on. Oh, lovely ball through midfield, and a good touch from Rishi, and Spurs are in down the inside left here. Oh, but Rishi was offside, unfortunately. That was good stuff. Ben Davies being brave, playing the ball through the lines there. Nine minutes. Konate. So they play the ball out wide to Salah. He comes in narrow. He looks for a ball across. It's a beautiful ball, but Kulusevski does great coming back and finds Archie Gray, who then plays a terrible ball, and Ben Davies really saves Archie Gray then. And he's got to hold that up, Decky, and that's good. Oh, tell you what, Ben Davies saved Archie Gray there. He attempted a nutmeg. And yeah, that was pretty un-Archie Gray-like, I have to say. Wins ahead of their Archie Gray. It comes back to Gakpo, who goes backwards to Robertson. Comes down the line, and then Richarlison comes in. It goes out for a throw. Yeah, I don't know what Gray... I mean, Gray wasn't blessed with options there, but what he needed to do was just put his foot through it. And he didn't. He tries to nutmeg his man, and it bounces straight into the middle of the goal. And thankfully, Ben Davies, totally on his toes, and with a bit of a 50-50, gets rid of it. Liverpool there, just on the right, trying to play it between Bradley towards Salah, and it goes off the pitch. So this is interesting. We've got a throw on the left here with Jed Spence. Ben Davies trying to give him an option deep behind him. And then Nunez has just sat on Davies between Davies and Danso. So not many options for Spence. So he goes long down the line towards Richarlison, who's dealt with by Danso. Sorry, Danso by Canate. And Bradley gets it back to Kelleher, who goes first time to Van Dijk, who easily plays it round the corner to Robertson, who goes down the line, and Gakpo is the wrong side of Bissouma here, but Bissouma gets an important foot in, but Danso's first touch isn't great, but Bentancur comes and helps out and finds Gray, and this time Gray does go down in line into the channel towards Kulusevski, but it's cut out by Liverpool, and they start possession all over again, as you'd expect. Pape Matar Sarr not in this game at the moment at all. I mean, I know he's more engine and legs than technique, but it's too easy there down the inside channel, and that will be a corner to Liverpool as Ben Davies comes across to help his men out. It was Bradley who made a run from right back towards the byline. He's found far too easily. And here's Liverpool's first corner of the game. Good work by Ben Davies again. So they take it short and then swing it away. It's dinked at the near post and flicked up by Bissouma, and Kinski comes for it. And now two players are down, Kinski and another. Well, let's see the replay on that, because Kinski came to catch it, and I think maybe he collides with Davies. Bissouma headed it up in the air. And really what's happening there is Canate is blocking Davies, pushing Davies into Kinski. Oh, Ben Davies has got a cut on his head. Ref's got to keep an eye on that, basically. And the Liverpool fans getting annoyed here. Kinski would have easily claimed that cross had it not been for Canate, as far as I'm concerned, pushing the Spurs player, Davies, into the keeper. Let's see what you guys are saying in the comments. And Iconic Garden, just keep that ball out the onion bag, boys. Philly Hotspur, just catch it already. Well, in my opinion, and good to see you, and thanks for your messages, Philly. In my opinion, he was kind of lent into there. And G Moore agrees, ref should have been on that right away. Quentos, Cortos 101, why do we always have dodgy refs? "13 minutes gone." I talked a lot about the importance of keeping it tight in the first 15 minutes today. We're nearly there. This little delay I don't think will do us any harm, to be honest. But so far, Tottenham not really touching the sides in terms of any threat going forward. And at some point, we're going to have to try and find a way to make some chances. They're still dabbing Ben Davies's. They're going to make him go off, of course, as well, because he's got blood on his shirt, so he'll need a new shirt as well. So now Danso's on his own. Bissouma, I guess, will fill in momentarily. That happened the other week when Dragishin went off. Okay, and the ref's dropped the ball to Kinski, who's then taking his time moving the ball around his box so that Ben Davies can get a shirt on, get some Vaseline on the cut, and come back onto the pitch as the Liverpool fans boo. And Kinski goes long with one of those lovely flat deliveries he's got. Richarlison beaten in the air, but Sarr didn't do enough there. I have to say, he needed to just get rid of it, and Danso does get rid of the second ball. Gakpo's got some space on the left now. He lets it bounce, and Decky trying to help out Archie Gray. Bit of a dodgy ball back there, and Robertson had to get in before Richarlison. 15 minutes gone now. Liverpool getting runners from deep. I think they realise against Spurs, runners from deep are the key. Good stuff from Bentancur there, but then a bad ball from Sonny. That's pretty much Sonny's first touch of the game, I think, after 15 minutes. He just had a chance to get the ball down, tried to play it somewhere where there wasn't an option, and Liverpool have the ball again, out wide with Gakpo. He plays it inside to Jones. Good tackle from Basuma. And Richarlison now has it on the break, but he's got Liverpool men around him all the time, and he gets a free kick. That's great from Richarlison there, because he was surrounded, and he knows he needs to feel the touch. Wins a free kick, and that gives Spurs a bit of a breather and a chance to get the ball into the box. So it's Sonny lining up this free kick. I mean, I'm not going to lie. This is, about 38 yards out. Sonny's standing over it. It's quite central. I don't know what's Sonny thinking of here, really. He's just going to dink it towards the back post. That's going to be a corner for Spurs. That was a good decision in the end by Sonny. Now, Tottenham obviously have recently scored from a corner, which we don't do very much. Only Bentancur really has scored for us this season from corners that I can remember. We got an own goal the other day. Basuma's going to do the same as he did the other day and stand on Kelleher. But we do have a new guy, Danso, who's big. But I want us to be careful. I want us to obviously attack this and try and do something, but also be careful on the break because Liverpool have pace to burn. It's Sonny who's going to bend it in, an in-swinger. Come on, Sonny. Good delivery here, boy. 17th minute. Lots of players around Kelleher, as you'd expect, as is the modern way. Here comes the in-swinger, and it's cleared by Nunez. First touch from Bentancur going backwards now. He goes to Jed Spence, who's probably going to have to go to Kinski. No, he doesn't. He just whacks it straight back to Kelleher, to be honest, who throws it out very quickly out to the left. And Liverpool have men now in the centre midfield. I don't know where Sarr was. He's all over the shop there. Anyway, it's coming out towards the right-hand side, and Salah, who has to go back. Spurs back in shape now. And Ben Davies back on the pitch. It feels to me like Sarr doesn't really know where he is a bit at the moment. Salah now. Sonny fronts him up, and it goes out for a Liverpool throw. Salah takes it, comes back to Konate. Van Dijk. Wide to Robertson. Decky putting some pressure on him. And the inside run from Gakpo. Archie Gray followed it, but Kulusevski gets a foot in. But Liverpool have taken the throw already. And there's a deep runner there, trying to make runs from deep over the top of Spurs' back line. And it comes to Salah, and Jed Spence goes out to him. Sonny's with him as well. And so Salah has to go backwards to Bradley. And then Sarr puts some pressure on and gives away a stupid free kick, Sarr. Really stupid. This is in the on the right-hand side, and you've got to think that Salah will whip this in. Yeah, Spurs keeping a line about 16 yards out. Good opportunity for Liverpool to get the ball in the box here towards Nunez, Konate, Van Dijk. And Sarr has to be careful there. He just has to jockey. That's all he has to do. It's actually an outswinger. And well cleared from Jed Spence. That's great from Spence. And they go all the way back to Kelleher. He puts his foot on the ball. Sarr, it feels like, is almost in the 10 role of the three midfielders, trying to play almost man to man as Van Dijk tries to play a long one over the top of Spence to Salah, and Spence does well. Are they trying to do with Sarr kind of similar to what Newcastle did to Arsenal yesterday and press the number 6? It was Shah, wasn't it, for Newcastle last night, pressing Declan Rice. But Sarr he seems like in betwixt and in between at the moment, doesn't really know where he's supposed to be. And obviously disappointed he gave away that free kick. But anyway, ball comes now down the left to Gakpo's, fronting up Archie Gray. It comes backwards to Robertson. Comes across into midfield to Gravenberch, and then to Van Dijk, and then to Konate. Bradley now brings it across again to Van Dijk, who goes aerial over the top of Archie Gray to Gakpo, who comes inside narrow and goes back to Jones. They're moving the ball away well. Kulusevski's wrong side there. Jones, they're just lining it up to get it across to Salah now. And Bradley gets it there, and Spence ambles out there. He's showing him wide. And here comes the first time cross from Bradley. It's deep, and Spurs don't. Well, that's brilliant from Archie Gray at the back post, because I was literally going to say Spurs don't defend their back post, but Archie Gray defended it well, and it's a corner. We know how many goals Spurs have conceded this season from this first time cross from the right all the way over to the left, and Robertson was free. Szoboszlai with the corner here. He's going to whip it as an in-swinger. Here it comes, and it's cleared at the near post by Rishi. Well done. But Liverpool just have this entire game at the moment, and Spurs are sitting back on their lead, and I guess it's not surprising, but also we're going to have to at some point try and get out of our half, because we've not managed it in the first 21 minutes. Szoboszlai now driving at midfield. Oh, he's done brilliantly, and it's a great block from Ben Davies. Comes out to Van Dijk, and now Gravenberch blocked brilliantly from Danso this time. And Richarlison holds it up and plays a good ball to Bentancur. Well done, Rodrigo, who gives it to Kulusevski, who loses it straight away and then gives away a foul. Oh, it's not given as a foul. It's a Liverpool throw. Good block from Danso and from Davis. Van Dijk to Konate. It's 74% possession of Liverpool. Oh, but Bentancur wins it there. And Richarlison's got to hold it up here. And he does well. And now he gives it back to Gray, but it's not a great pass. And Gray is now facing the wrong way and has to go back to Kinski. He's going to have to go long, I think. Yeah, he does. Liverpool, a good pressing team. Richarlison backs into Van Dijk. And then Szoboszlai wins it off Bentancur a bit too easily. But you got to start again here, Rodrigo, because the ball's coming through with Jones. Good ball into Nunez, who goes back to Szoboszlai. At the moment, I have to say it feels a bit like Liverpool have an extra man in midfield, which they don't. But Spurs just sitting deeper, so Liverpool able to knock it about. Kulusevski just doing his lace up, and Liverpool try a good through ball into the right-hand side channel. Gravenberch, but it goes through to Kinski. 23 minutes gone. And Kinski does roll this out to Danso, who straight away didn't fancy that. And then has to go down the line to Kulusevski, and it's a good ball. And this worked. And Danso now breaking through midfield. Use your pace, Danso. And he kind of goes conservative and finds Sarr, but we still got the ball, and it comes out wide now to Sonny, who's got Spence running outside him, and he finds Spence down the line. Can he cut it back? And it's cleared by Konate, and Kulusevski had made a run to that near post. And Salah then kicks it off for a corner, and that's good. And that should give Danso some confidence. His instinct was to go backwards, but then he didn't. He was pressed, so he had to go forwards, gave it into Richarlison, actually got it back, and then was breaking through midfield. Anyway, another corner to Spurs. 24 minutes gone. Sonny's going to have to get this over the first man, because he didn't with the first one. Big, tall team, Liverpool. Here it comes. It's a better delivery, and it's headed back in the near post, and then Ben Davies comes at the far post, and his clearance. And now Liverpool are on the break, and this is what I was saying after the first corner. Jed Spence tries to get his body in the way. Liverpool are in, and Spurs get bodies around, and Sarr actually did well then. And Jed Spence beats two men, gives it to Kulusevski first time, and this is brilliant from Spurs. They got 4 forward here. It's Basuma. He finds Son. What a horrible ball. But Son finds, with his bad touch, Pat Matassar, who tries to play a ridiculous ball through. It was too heavy and there was nothing on it. And Liverpool clear. And Danso has some time. Oh, Danso just tried to play a ball through midfield. And Liverpool have got it now. And Salah's in loads of space now. And Spence isn't there. And that's a worry. Oh, and he tries to pass it into the middle. And actually it's deflected just wide for a corner. Kinski may have been a bit worried. It only just goes wide in the end, but he seemed to know or feel confident that it was not going to go in at the far post. So another corner for Liverpool here. Oh, and they go short, and Spurs haven't checked the short one on the corner of the box. And now Curtis Jones goes, and Liverpool played it all the way back to their halfway line in the end. And now they go for a big wide up and under, and Spence wins that easily. But Van Dijk saw it and plays a brilliant ball to Salah, but Sarr did well. And then it comes to Sarr again. And Sarr does well on the edge of his box now, using his legs to get away. And then he goes one too many and he's lost it. And Bissouma's running in, and this is a chance on the edge of the box for Szoboszlai. Comes out wide left. It's a bit overplayed. Robertson's going to try a first-time cross, I would have thought. Yeah, here it comes. Oh, dummied at the front post. Then a shot. Spurs have to be strong here in the 50-50. And it's blocked. And Kulusevski plays it to Rishi, and Rishi's on his own. He's got to find Kulusevski again, and he does. It's only the two of them now, and there's no pace, so he's got to go down the line, Rishi. He does, and he holds it up well. And Spurs need to get bodies. Rishi now, Kulusevski driving to the byline. Has to hold it up. He's got no one around him. He has to try and win something on his own. He does. He wins a corner. Brilliant from Deki Kulusevski. Good block from Archie Gray in that. Little... Yeah, Alan Smith on co-coms, who I hate because he's Arsenal, saying Spurs hanging on by the skin of their teeth. Anyway, this is a corner. Kulusevski's going to whip this one in. It's a decent delivery, but it's cleared at the near post. And Liverpool are a big team. That's going to happen every time. We have to probably do something a bit different. Nunes plays in that, from defensive corners, plays in that little pocket where Harry Kane used to clear so many front post corners for Spurs. Anyway, it's a throw into Tottenham. Archie Gray has it on the right. No one really making much movement for him. So he goes down the line to Richarlison, who's trying to hold it up. Gives it back to Gray, who goes again. Oh, lovely. And a good chance here for Deki, who tries to cut back. Ah, maybe he shouldn't have tried to cut back. And now Liverpool's so quick on the break and so dangerous. Sonny trying to work back. Jed Spence up against Salah now on the right. And Salah tries to go early because he had Spence in front of him. And it's cleared by Ben Davis. And that has got the Liverpool fans up for it. Van Dijk now plays it out wide to Curtis Jones. Comes back inside narrow to Gravenberch. Back to Van Dijk. And Liverpool's entire team, you know, their back line is 10, 15 yards in front of the halfway line at the moment as it comes to Salah, fronted by Son and Spence. So has to go back to Bradley. And now Konate and across to Van Dijk. And Robertson. And out wide to Gakpo now, fronting up Archie Gray. Comes narrow again, and Graydale's with the first one okay, but now he gets well to the byline. It's a header from Nunes. Straight down Kinski's throat. Kinski goes to Danso, doesn't look delighted about it, but a good ball into Deki Kulusevski out wide. Feels the touch. And then loses it. Salah plays a beautiful ball. Great chance, a goal. And it's offside. Going to see the replay here. Szoboszlai makes it. He is off, but it's only just. And actually, Danso nearly kept him on because you know how when Liverpool are coming forward, Spurs stop dead on the 18-yard line. And Danso just went 1 yard further and he nearly kept him on, but he did enough. It was a great ball and a great finish. Richarlison wins a header. And then a good touch into Sonny now. He tries to play it through. That wasn't on, Sonny. Come on, don't play balls that aren't on. Too easy for Liverpool there. Sometimes just put the foot on the ball, put your foot on the ball. Spurs, listen, let's face it, we've been completely outplayed at the moment. 7 shots to Liverpool, none from Spurs. 71% possession to 29%. And Spurs have only had 4 touches in the opposition box. And I think most of them will have been corners. Big, deep run now. Looking, Van Dijk was potentially tempted. As Konate finds Salah, who's coming deeper and deeper to get the ball. He's on the halfway line now. Van Dijk. To Robertson. Konate. This game's slowed down for a second. I'll tell you what, where Liverpool look most dangerous is when we go forward and they just attack at such pace on the counter. Really hard for us to deal with. Anyway, Gakpo goes down the line and we've kept Jones onside there. That's a good sliding tackle from Basuma. It's another corner for Liverpool. He goes with the corner quickly to Szoboszlai. He goes back to the edge of the box to Robertson. It's on his wrong side, so he's going to dink it to the back post and he's free at the back post. Salah. Oh, on his right foot. Don't know whether he's trying to cross or shoot there, Salah. It's awful. Goes over the bar. Basuma's gone down. I think he's probably trying to, I hope he's trying to do a little bit of a clever bit of professionalism here to get some words from the manager. Although they're showing a replay here, which is his slide-in tackle on Jones. Doesn't seem to get anything caught in the ground or anything there. He's just got a little limp on Basuma. Come on, Bis, run it off. We need you, mate. We need you. Come on. We need you to get on the ball. We haven't seen Basuma or Bentancur get on the ball here. Kind of trust yourselves a little bit more on it. 32 minutes gone. Still 0-0. But Liverpool, it's fair to say, all over us. Kinski now being pressed. Dinks it over the top to Spence, who has to... He's only got Ben Davis with him, and Ben will probably have to go long here. He does. And we're not able to hold it up. But then Spence wins it and tries to be brave, and I don't mind that, but he's lost it. And now Nunes is out wide. He holds it up and goes back. It comes back to the halfway line. Jones and Richarlison puts him under pressure, and now we've got it with Deki Kulusevski. Oh, and a bad ball from Basuma. And now Sonny's caught ahead of the ball, and it's 1-on-1. Salah against Spence on the right. Although 3 men have gone to it. Outside of the boot ball. Chance of the back post. Goal. Cody Gakpo, who I said before the game I thought was their best player. Comes from a bad ball in midfield from Basuma. That's the thing. We had a chance to break. And the important thing when you break is don't lose it. Don't allow them a transition. And that's what happened. And as a result, Sonny was caught ahead of the ball. There it is. Basuma trying to find Sarr, puts it behind him. And straight away, the ball is given by Gravenberch to Salah. He's 1-on-1 against Spence. Does the outside of the boot ball. And it comes to Gakpo. And once again, we don't defend our back post. And now Tottenham, I'm afraid, are going to have to do something different. Liverpool fans now behind them. It's just devastating because that was actually a chance for us to break. Oh, there you go. Bentancur puts his foot on the ball. Gives it into Sarr, who's not been in this game so far. And Sonny tries a ball down the line for Sarr to chase. Puts pressure on Konate. Goes back to Kelleher, who has to go long. It comes to Bentancur. His first touch is not good. And then Bissouma gives a bit of a hospital ball to Spence, who deals with it really nicely. Chips it over the top. Van Dijk clears. And then ref's given a push against Spence, which it never, ever was. Anyway, so now we're level up 1-1. And Tottenham, who have not been in this game. Be interesting to see whether Liverpool kind of aren't quite as forward-thinking now, just knowing that they're in it. They don't need the goal now so much, and they can just... I don't know, it's a good atmosphere at Liverpool, though, at Anfield at this point. Really, I think Spurs needed to score the first goal tonight. One of the problems we've got at the moment, and it's a problem we've had for a long time, certainly with no Odebear this season, when we do win the ball back and have a chance to break, there's no pace. It's mostly coming to Kulusevski's feet, and Liverpool players are able to get around him very quickly. Liverpool, of course, have the ball again now with Gravenberch, and it comes to Van Dijk. So maybe in the second half, Tell can come on and offer us a bit of pace for when we can win the ball back. But shocking pass from Bissouma, really frustrating for the goal. As Gray finds Kulusevski under loads of pressure, who does brilliantly down the line. But the ball goes off, unfortunately. I think this will frustrate Ange a lot, because one of the big things about Ange is he wants to go to these games and try and take these clubs on at their own game. And we're not doing that. We're not doing that at all. It's almost like because we got a win at Brentford, we think we can do that against Liverpool, and we won't be able to. As Liverpool comes to the edge of the box, and Salah is one-on-one against Spence, but this time he tries to chip it in first time, and Kinski claims it really well. There's just a lack of belief about Spurs at the moment. When scoring first this season, Liverpool have won 24 out of 25 games. And Kinski just plays a horrible ball out. Liverpool in again here. Chance on the edge of the box. Comes to Gakpo. Tries to dink it over. Looking for a handball, but it's not. Liverpool just playing it around. And Richarlison even comes in to help there. Not sure what Kinski was doing there. Comes to Jones. Back to Robertson. Van Dijk. I really fear about this. Tottenham are only going to start playing when they're losing the whole tie. It comes all the way to Gakpo now. Fronting up Archie Gray. Comes back to Robertson. Crosses first time. Cleared by Danso. But straight to Van Dijk, of course. And Bentancur trying to put a bit of a press on. Comes to Salah, who is just playing it down the line every time. And Davis does well there. Goes out for a goal kick. I mean, I guess a positive you can look for is that Salah is not trying to take Spence on at all. But that is opening it up for him to play balls down the line. And Sarr is just not in this game. He's being beaten to every ball in midfield. So frustrating. Van Dijk to Konate. Comes back to Van Dijk. And Richarlison just lets him go there. And Van Dijk plays it out wide. Bradley. Salah outside him. Spence goes over again. And that's well done by Sonny. He takes on Salah down the line. And then that's a bad tackle from Bradley. He got the ball, so it's not given as a foul. But that was a bit of a choppy tackle. And then Liverpool get a corner from it. Well, I'm not sure about that, ref. He really jumps in here. Oof. Blimey. And then Spence actually had the chance there, and then he gives it away. And that's... I think that came off Bradley. I don't think that was a corner. Is it a corner? I can't... Yeah, it is a corner. I didn't think it was. Frustrating. 38 minutes gone. Spurs need to try and find a way to hang on to half-time here, but I fear for them at the moment, I have to say. Here comes the outswinger. Archie Gray gets his head on it well, but of course comes out to the halfway line. And Liverpool recycle. Sonny trying to put some pressure on Jones as Liverpool dink it over the top. Oh, and the keeper's come long and he punches. Not a bad decision in the end. And he was offside anyway. Well done, Kinski there. So the cross comes there, just showing the goal again. And what happens is Nunes puts off Danso from heading the ball because Nunes' foot goes towards Danso's head, trying to flick it on. Danso just needs to be braver there, I think. Spurs have lost the ball again, of course, in midfield. And Ben Davies this time gets it down into Bentancur's feet, who plays a good ball to Bissouma, but he's tackled. And then Konate is stronger than Son. Come on, Spurs, show some strength. Now they get it to Salah out wide, and he's got some space. He's one-on-one against Spence. Cuts inside, comes back to the edge. And Salah needs to be stronger in a 50-50. So poor from Salah. Liverpool in the box. It's out for a corner. Salah needs to get off the pitch at the moment. At the moment, I would have Salah off at half-time for Lucas Bergvall. Lucas Bergvall's got a bit of spite about him, and Sar's just jogging about and pulling out of 50-50s at the moment. Corner comes in from Liverpool. Another outswinger. This one's deeper. And nobody is marking Salah, so he gets it down. It comes to Curtis Jones. He gets it out to Gravenberch. And now they're on the right-hand side. Oh. And Szoboszlai beats Richarlison too easily, but then Spence comes in and gets it out to Rishi, who's now got to run it down the line. He's surrounded. Comes back, plays a good ball inside to Bentancur. Now, can he open it out to Kulusevski? It's nearly intercepted, but it does make it to Decky. But no pace, like I said, so we have to come backwards. But at least it's a chance for Spurs to get the ball down. Bissouma plays it back to Danso, who goes straight back to the keeper. And now gets it back off the keeper. But Danso's pressed. He goes wide to Kulusevski. It's a brilliant ball. And Archie Gray is with Decky. So Decky comes narrow. Go on, have a dig, Decky. Why not? Oh, over the bar. At least we had a fucking shot, though. Good football from Spurs. Hopefully that'll give Danso some confidence to play more of those balls down the line into Kulusevski. Oh, lovely play from Liverpool. Nearly breaks us through the midfield. But a bad ball, and Danso picks it up and gives it to Bissouma, who just plays a fucking stupid ball over the top. And it's easily shepherded out for a goal kick. Bissouma, the midfield, Bentancur's been the best of the three, but the other two poor so far. Into the 42nd minute. This is where, so far this season, Spurs have buckled at times where we really need to not concede just before half-time. We need to be strong in these last few minutes. There will be some added time, won't there, because of Ben Davies' injury. Oh, we just need to be a bit better on the ball. Bissouma. Sarr. Konate lays it to Bradley. Under pressure from Sarr, but Sarr doesn't get there. Liverpool just being much braver on the ball, able to get the ball around our players, make angles for themselves. Now Van Dijk. Inside to Jones. It comes out, but Archie Gray reads that and gets there before Gakpo and plays a ball down the line. And unfortunately, it's a nice idea. Richarlison running the channel, but it goes out for a throw. A nice idea from Archie Gray. It was on his wrong foot. It was on his left foot. So not a huge surprise. And Rishi's knackered after that run. Oh, and he's gone down on the floor now, Rishi. And the ref's not going to give anything for that. And I think he's gone down because he's injured. He's banging on the grass. And that might be a muscular injury for Richarlison, who has played a lot of minutes since he's come back. And now Liverpool dangerously out with Gakpo running at Archie Gray again, who's showing him the line. And he goes down the line, dinks it to the back post. And we don't mark the back post. And volleyed into the ground by Salah and tipped over the bar by Kinski. It's a good save. And let's see what the situation with Richarlison, because we really could do with him defending this corner. He's down. It looks like it's gonna. He was banging on the grass, and he's still banging on the grass. So it looks like it's his calf muscle that's gone. I mean, yeah. And Tell is coming on. And how many times have I said it this season. This is Ange's issue. He cannot get his first team on the pitch. He cannot keep his players fit. I'm sorry, it cannot be coincidence. I'm sorry to be negative. And it's good that Tell's going to come on. He's going to play number 9. He wants to. But we cannot afford... We're not going to win anything or do anything unless we have our first team fit. And I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's the relentlessness or the play or the training or whatever it is. But so many injuries and recurrences of injuries, it doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. And it shouldn't happen. And Richarlison's just clearly in the red zone because he's had to play so many minutes since he came back from the other injury. And now he's done his calf. And the last one was a hamstring. And this will be Richarlison out for a month probably, at minimum. Tell comes on. 7 minutes added time. Jesus Christ. Just hope that Tell can stay fit. Okay, it's a corner to Liverpool, and they're getting Van Dijk and Konate around the keeper now. So they're going to try and put it on his head. Danso's in there trying to stay strong. Come on, Spurs. Here comes the in-swinger. Flicked on the near post, but Bentancur did really well, and he chases his clearance. But a big high one comes up towards Kinski. He's going to have to punch that, and he does. Punches out for another corner. He actually, in the end, had no one around him, but he'd already made his decision to punch. It was a proper up and under, that one. Just literally had snow on it. And in the end, do you know what? Van Dijk didn't even go for it. That's how confident he was that the keeper was going to catch it. And now it's another corner. And this will not look good if we concede from here. Come on, Spurs. Stay strong. Robertson's going to whip this in towards the box. And the commentator's saying how Liverpool have Tottenham where they want them. Tottenham, honestly, have been poor this half. We haven't made anything. We haven't made any chances whatsoever. And we need to get into half time so Ange can get into them and say, you're going to lose pathetically at the moment. Here comes the corner. Van Dijk goes down, but nothing given. And easily dealt with on the halfway line. And Curtis Jones goes backwards to Gravenberch. They're on their halfway line now. And Bradley goes back to Kelleher. Sarr is putting a bit of a press on here, but Kelleher easily beats him. And then Sarr falls on the ground. Tell, I think... Where is Tell starting? Yeah, it looks like he's playing in the 9. Puts a little bit of a press on Konate. Kelleher's just going to easily find Curtis Jones on the left-hand side now, who goes inside to Van Dijk. Oh, takes a dangerous touchdown. He's lost it, Van Dijk. And then Sarr takes it off Bentancur's foot. Fucking slowed it down, Sarr. Spence now on the right-hand side. Don't know why that is. And Sarr goes all the way back to the keeper. Sarr should have just left that to Bentancur. I like Sarr as a player, I'm sorry, but he's having a horrible game. Kinski goes over the top to Son, who's in. If he's onside, takes a horror show of a first touch. He's probably offside anyway. But I don't mind that ball from Kinski over the top. Now Liverpool in down the right. And Archie Gray, they've swapped fullbacks. I'm not sure if that is a good idea. Because I think Salah will like his chances against Archie Gray a lot more than he was Spence. He wasn't actually taking Spence on. I think maybe what Ange is thinking is hoping that by putting Spence on the right, we might have a bit more attacking thrust down the right. But for these few minutes before half-time, I'm not sure I would leave Salah one-on-one with Archie Gray. As Liverpool play it all across their back line, and Robertson finds himself free in the half space. He's got Gakpo outside him. Spence is now there. Oh, Gakpo does well. Plays it inside narrow. And Bissouma, you need to keep working, mate. And it's about to come out wide to Salah. Oh, no. Bradley tries the cross to the back stick. And actually, that's brilliant defending narrow from Jed Spence. Otherwise, Curtis Jones would have had a free header. It's going to be a corner. We're into the 5th minute of 7 stoppage time. It's going to be an out-swinging corner for Liverpool. Tottenham who've just not turned up yet. Szoboszlai with it. It's deep again towards the edge of the box. And Kulusevski lets it bounce. And then Jones gets the first ball. And the press on is making Liverpool comes to the halfway line. But then Bradley plays a ball over the top and it goes out for a goal kick. And Kinski, take as much time as you want over this, mate. Tottenham have been intimidated by Anfield here. I'm sorry, just as we always are when we go there, pretty much. And Ange looks, rough and ready on the sidelines. He doesn't look happy. There's no point going out here without having a go at it. Ange is shaking his head. This is what Ange says that he's not about. He sent a Celtic team to the Bernabeu to try and play Real Madrid off the pitch. And here we've come to Anfield and we've absolutely pussied out. We haven't tried to get on the ball at all. We haven't trusted ourselves. And we've got 2 minutes left of added time. We're going to have to try and... I hope we make it to half time. And then Ange needs to get into them and say, you're going to lose if you carry on playing like this. So try and play football. I know they've got a high press, but you've got to try and play your football. Oh, Tell is turned there on the right. And Liverpool just so much better than us in tight spaces in this game so far. Van Dijk to, I think it's Jones, is it? Picking up the ball from his centre-half. Yeah. Tell you what, we miss James Maddison on a day like this where we could do with him coming to get the ball off the back four and just being brave on it. We got no one doing that at the moment. Sarr at least puts the press on, so it goes back to Keller, who's had one of the easiest halves of football of his life. Bissouma that time did at least follow Szoboszlai as he tried to get the ball off Kelleher. We're into the last minute now of added time. Kelleher tries the long one straight down the middle. And Archie Gray wins it, which is important. And it was offside anyway, and that will waste a bit of time for Spurs. Take as much time as you want here, Tottenham. Danso's on it. Now he takes it to Ben Davis, but Liverpool straight away put the press on him. So he plays it out wide to Sonny, who's got to hold it up here. Don't lose it, Sonny. Plays it into Sarr. Don't you lose it, Sarr. Go back if you have to. He does. He's under pressure, so he goes to Ben Davis, who's going to go to Kinski. We've got 30 seconds left. Nunez pressing Kinski, who goes across to Danso. He's got a bit of time, but he's going to have to go long in the channel, I would have thought, and he does. And that doesn't turn Van Dijk, who wins the header. Archie Gray does well. Liverpool first every second ball at the moment. Oh, and Robertson does really well into midfield to Szoboszlai. 10 seconds left here, Spurs. Going to have to see it out. Spence is back on the left now, up against Salah. Oh, he plays it inside both Spence. And that's a goal kick. And that's half time. Okay. Well, for me, Tottenham have got away with it a little bit there. We're 1-0 down, 1-1 on aggregate. And Liverpool have been all over us. And Tottenham have basically not turned up, I would say. I know it's difficult at Anfield. Nobody does well at Anfield. It's a bit unlucky for Spurs that this seems like the one season where every club, they're playing their best teams in the Carabao Cup for the first time in years. Liverpool really want this. The crowd really want it. And Tottenham are backs to the wall. But for me, and I don't know how you feel, let me know in the comments, but for me, if I'm Ange Postecoglou, you go in at halftime and say, if you play like that in the second half, you will lose that way. So why don't you try and play the way we've been training for 18 months and try and be braver on the ball? I know it's hard, and they've got a full court press, Liverpool, on Spurs, and Spurs not able to get out of it. But we're going to have to try something different because at the moment it's a bit men against boys. I'll go through what happened minute by minute, but I hate to say it's not a lot for Spurs. Also, please, if you're not already a subscriber to Chris's channel, at Chris Cowell, give him a subscribe, the Don of Tottenham content. Also, you'll see my channel there, youtube.com/@Barnaby Slater _. I bring you daily Tottenham content, transfer rumours, everything from the Premier League. So do give me a subscribe. I'm only a few hundred away from 15,000. So do give me a subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. But here's what happened in the first half. In just the second minute, an elbow in the neck on Richarlison from Virgil van Dijk. Definitely on purpose. Ref didn't even see it, and then the VAR don't get involved. I thought Richarlison would probably get a little bit ill-disciplined after that. So I wrote here he needed to be careful. But in the end, he ended up going off injured later in the half. A good cross in the 4th minute from Gray to Richarlison, who was bumped in the box and wasn't able to control it. Needed to be stronger there. 6th minute, shot from Salah deflected into Kinski's arms. Then, in keeping with the whole rest of the half, we gave it away far too quickly. Liverpool got to the byline and we cleared the cross. So that's probably why Spurs haven't been trying to play football most of the second half, because early doors, we are pressed so high. We're trying to play football and we can't keep it. But we need players in midfield to be braver, to come for the ball, to play it around the corner, to get their foot on it. Players like Bentancur and Bissouma, they are good enough, as far as I'm concerned, if they are motivated enough to win second balls, to be quicker to everything. I said before the game, I thought Spurs would be more motivated for this game because it's the most important game of their season, where it's not the most important game of Liverpool's season, but they're not. Liverpool are more motivated. They're winning every second ball. They are quicker to every challenge. and it's ugly at the moment. 8th minute, first ball through the lines from Davis. It was decent. I think it was into Richarlison, but it was called offside. 9th minute, unfortunately, one of the few mistakes I've seen this season from Archie Gray. He was under pressure, but he tried to nutmeg his man. Unfortunately, the rebound went, even though it went straight into the middle of the, towards the edge of the box, Ben Davis saved him. He was on his toes and got a 50-50 challenge in. 11th minute, more good work from Davis, blocking across from the byline. 12th minute, Kinski came out to catch the ball. Kanati, it was quite a high ball. Kanati had blocked Davis and pushed him into Kinski, and he spilled it, and the ref gave nothing. And then both Kinski and Davis went down injured. Davis had a nasty-looking cut on his head. Liverpool fans got annoyed, thinking he was wasting time, but actually that cut needed to be dealt with, and he was off the pitch for the next couple of minutes. 15th minute, good moment from Bissouma, won the ball back. And then Richarlison did really well to win a free kick, actually in Liverpool's half. That was one of the very few times we were actually in Liverpool's half. Then in the 18th minute, stupid free kick given away from Sarr, who I've written a note who hasn't been in the game at all. And it would not surprise me at all if he was taken off this pitch at halftime, because he is not in it. He doesn't know where he should be. He's ducking out of 50-50 challenges. And he's just a body at the moment, and not a body doing good things. 20th minute, Archie Gray defends the back post brilliantly after a first-time cross. And I was all ready for that to be a goal, because as we know, they're asked to tuck in so narrow at the back post, and it came back to haunt us later in the game. Good blocks from Danso and Davis in the 22nd minute. 23rd minute, some good stuff from Danso, who his instinct when he was given the ball was to go back to the keeper, but he couldn't because he was pressed. So he had to go down the line. He gives it down the line and gets a 1-2 and breaks through midfield. And that was good stuff from him. 24th minute, better from Spurs. Started with down the right, Spence being brave. Down the left, Spence being brave on the ball and beating a couple of men. That's what it's going to take from Tottenham. Not only just to get into the game and get some confidence themselves, but to put some doubt in the Liverpool players' minds. At the moment, Liverpool players know that whenever Spurs players get the ball, they're going to be in their back and Spurs are going to go backwards and the press continues. But if players can do more what Spence did and beat a player or two and be brave or pass it around the corner, get a 1-2 going, then that's going to make Liverpool think, okay, we've got to be more careful here. But not a lot of that has been happening. 25th minute, Salah in space after we lost the ball in midfield. Spence was caught up the field because of it, and his pass was deflected for a corner. 26th minute, great on the break from Rishi and Decky, and we won a corner from it. That was down the right-hand side. That came from Liverpool having some chances in the box, and a good block from Archie Gray. So far, expected goals, 0.70 Liverpool, 0.02 for Spurs. Basically zero from Spurs. 28th minute, just written a note. Liverpool so quick on the break. Gakpo got to the byline, crossed it to Nunes, headed it straight into Kinski's arms. We lost the ball again straight away, and they had a goal disallowed from offside in the inside right channel. Szoboszlai. It was about a yard off. Jamie Carragher has a smug smile on his face. Yeah, and Jamie Redknapp, they're just showing the goal and how Bissouma gave the ball away. And then really Bissouma does kind of make a run back into the box, but he's not working hard. It just comes to the back post. And how many times, you guys who watch my videos, you guys who watch me on these watch-alongs, Tottenham's inability to defend their back post and the amount of goals we concede from crosses that gets to the back post. And it's just an easy finish. Gakpo is 9 yards out on the volley, just puts it into the bottom left-hand corner. Anyway, 31st minute, terrible cross shot from Salah at the back post after Robertson found him with a first-time cross. He should have done better. And then the 33rd minute's the goal. Like I said, bad ball from Bissouma, and we don't defend the back post. 37th minute, Salah, who hasn't been trying to take Spence on at all, and that's good. That's one of the few positives. Spence really stopping Salah from taking him on, but Salah is still then playing good balls in between Spence and the centre half for oncoming runners from Liverpool. 39th minute, I just made note, Kinski doing well, punching and claiming balls. 40th minute, big anger from me. Sarr bottling out of a 50-50. I've written a note. He's been so poor. He needs to come off. 41st minute, good from Spurs. Ball from Danso down the right to Decky, who actually got in running towards the back line of Liverpool, but he shot over the bar. 42nd minute, poor from Bissouma again. Bad ball through when under no pressure. 43rd minute, Salah volleyed into the ground at the back post again. It was a free volley, and it's well tipped over the bar by Kinski. Once again, not marking the back post. Decent save, and that is when Richarlison got injured. 43rd minute, looks like a calf injury, adding to our 9-10 first team squad members out. 7 minutes of added time. Great headed clearance from Spence that stopped a free header for Jones. At that point, it looked like the fullbacks had been swapped, but actually back towards the end of that added time, Spence did go back to the left. I'm just going to listen to Jamie Redknapp here, who's who's saying that Tottenham causing their own problems. The old pundits review of Tottenham trying too hard to play Ange ball, but I actually disagree. They're not doing it at all. They're actually just trying to clear it. They're not being brave enough. They're going backwards. They're hitting it long. And then Liverpool, with players like Van Dijk and Konate, just sweeping it up very easily and bringing it forward again. Once again, guys, make sure you like this video if you haven't. 2,500 of you watching right now. Thank you so much for your support. Give the video a like. Press subscribe on Chris's channel. Let's hope for a better second half. Stuart Wheeler. I just saw a comment from you. Thank you. Says Porro for Sarr. Gray moves into midfield. I doubt that. We haven't seen Sarr in midfield all season, so I really severely doubt it's going to start now, to be totally honest. But who knows? Let me just get into the comments, guys. Mark says, fragile backline. Our midfield goes too deep and panicking on crosses, and there's no way out. Our midfield needs to be in challenging position. Tom Bowdler, how the F are the pundits, Carra and Redknapp. Yeah, that's true. I guess they see, Redknapp played for Spurs, but he kind of hates Spurs, doesn't he? G. Moore says, the times I've called out Basuma and Sarr, it's the way it is with no other options. They're both a ticking time bomb for mistakes. Yeah, I mean, it certainly seemed that way this first half. Epec20 says, Danso, the only positive. God's Time Simon says, we're defending more against Liverpool. It's not the best way. Jack Legros agrees with me. Men against boys so far. Do we have anybody up for the fight? Patch Thomas, the fan base is having a stormer at Anfield. Charles Preston, touches in the opposition box. Liverpool 29, Spurs 4. Andrew Bennett says, defense is fine. Midfield is non-existent. Just going to go into Twitter and see what people are saying on X. I doubt it'll be pretty. Russ Williams could have been worse, lacking an on-field leader, and it's mostly hot potato football, but still in it. Uncomfortable viewing. Yeah, that's to say the least. Some people posting the elbow from Van Dijk, which is straight into Richarlison's neck and head. James Moore from The Athletic. Spurs being presented with the ball 30 yards out, having the opportunity to outnumber Liverpool in their half for the first time and create a proper opening, only for the ball to end up back with Kinski within 12 seconds, sums up the lack of ruthless attacking intent in this team. Yep, completely agree. There was a stat earlier before the game which showed Premier League minutes played by players under 18 or under. And this season, Tottenham top of that graphic with 42 starts totaling 3,941 minutes, which is nearly double the next team, which is Arsenal, with 22 total starts and 2,000 minutes. And that will have something to do realistically with how we're playing today, because we are not being brave enough on the ball. Spurs Talk Show says, someone bring me Lucas effing Bergvall. And Bardi from the Extra Inch agrees that centre midfield trio is an absolute mess. Fix that and maybe we get out of this. Yeah, I mean, we just need someone who's going to get on the ball. I don't really know what's happening. Bardi also says, need one or two of these established players to stand up for once and stop hiding behind the children. He said, Bentancur, Bissouma, Son and Richarlison playing like it's a testimonial. I have to say, I do not disagree. Jack Legros says in the comments, we can still beat Liverpool, but need massive improvement and change it up, Ange. Go for it. Charles says, Basuma off, Bergvall on, Sarr off, Porro on. Colin O'Shea, thanks for your message, mate. Says, nearly every Liverpool player plays every single weekend at a higher pace than us. Get a grip with overplaying players. They are weak-willed, weak-minded. Andrew Bennett says, Ange needs to make changes soon, but I bet he won't. I'm not sure. Ange has been making more changes at halftime of games, and we definitely need him to tonight. As people are saying, and I've been talking about on both Twitter comments and your YouTube comments, just the midfield is completely non-existent at the moment. And there's really no point, unless we're going to get a bit more stronger in midfield and put ourselves about a little bit more, because we can't just play the long balls to the likes of Tell, Son and Deki Kulusevski, because they're just going to be out-jumped every single time. They're going to lose every second ball there. But we are still in it somehow. We are still in it. Rubayet, thanks for your message. What substitutions will you make during the half time? Well, I would bring Bergvall on for Sarr, that's for sure. And I would be shouting at Basuma and Bentancur to say, you've got to try and boss this midfield. They're jogging around. I mean, we've said it, haven't we? We've all said it. I thought they did well together against Brentford at the weekend, but overall, Bentancur and Basuma have never really played that well together. And tonight is another example of this. Jack Legros says, are we going to lie down and lose or fight and win? I agree. I think, listen, there's a chance we might fight and try and go forward and lose as well. But at the moment, we're just going to lose this way. And we all know that whenever Spurs get into a losing position this season, we do not have what it takes to get out of it. So right now, I think our only chance is to try and go forward a little bit more and try and get the next goal in this game, because you can guarantee that if and when we go 2-1 down overall in this game, Liverpool will just take their foot off the gas. They'll slow the game down. They'll go down for injury time. They will rest it, and Spurs will really struggle to score. So that is what I fear, and why Tottenham, I think, need to do something different. I have been saying it ever since Dominic Solanke got injured. I really fear for our chances of winning at Anfield if we do not have Dominic Solanke to hold it up and to give the likes of Van Dijk and Konate a difficult game. And that is what is clearly happening tonight. We've got Tell on the pitch. We need to get him the ball. Maybe we need to give him the ball out wide a little bit, actually. Maybe play Kulusevski as a false nine, because we need him to use some pace to try and get at Liverpool. MJ Coy says Sarr and Basuma off, Bergvall and more on. Kulu to MF. Charles Preston says Tell to score the winner. That would be amazing. Real Forever says, I thought Jed Spence played well. Dancer was all right. And Kulu played all right for the small amounts he had the ball. I pray that we can win, but I'm very uncertain. And Angie's Cough Medicine agrees with me. We are desperately missing Solanke. Completely agree. Well, we will see very soon. Sky are on their second advertising break. So they usually only have one betting advert here, and then we'll probably see if Tottenham are making any changes. You guys are probably a little bit ahead of me, so you might already know. Let's see what happens. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, surely Spurs cannot be as bad this second half. We're just going out with a whimper at the moment. Jamie Redknapp saying he was just asked, how can Tottenham do better? He said, I want a lot more from the captain, from Sonny. He says no one on the pitch has had less touches than him. He's got to get on the ball. He's just out of the game, Sonny. We're not getting the ball to him. He's saying he's the one. Yeah, Redknapp says the midfield three have not been good enough, and he says that Sonny is the one player that you think could do something for Spurs, and he's not getting on the ball enough. Yeah, and he says that Liverpool have suffocated Spurs, and I agree with that. And Tell is back out on the pitch, just having a bit of a halftime warm-up. Okay, here they come out of the tunnel. Sarr is still on the pitch. He looks like he's hobbling a bit, to be honest. So it doesn't look like Spurs are making any changes. Well, hopefully he's put a rocket up them. Listen, one of you said it in the comments, and it's true. Liverpool, they don't get any injuries. So this team have been playing together all season. They are a well-oiled machine. We just got to hope that Spurs can put some doubt in their mind somehow and stop them from pressing so high, because it has been suffocating us. And the Liverpool fitness trainer just taking them through a warm-up now. But Tottenham need to do something different, because we are going out of the Carabao Cup right now. And I really fear for this week if we go out tonight, because we got Aston Villa away at the weekend. And although I don't think they'll suffocate us quite as much and quite as well as Liverpool are, they will put the press on against us. And of course, they've got no game this week. As ever, Tottenham will be coming up against a team with no game in the week, where we've had a game in the week. And of course, they won't have 10 first-team players out injured either. What do you think Anne just said to the boys at halftime? He hasn't made any changes. I guess he just made the change of Tell, who had to come on for Richarlison. So maybe he doesn't want to show his hand too early. And Tell is hugging a Liverpool player to start, which is annoying. But let's get it into the kids' feet. Kelleher goes long. Dancer goes up for the header. It's a good win. And Dancer's going to go up for a header again. And another good win from Dancer. And again, Liverpool win the second one. Dancer wins the third one. Well done, Dancer. Comes Kulusevski. That should be a foul against Van Dijk, who had a high foot, but not given, of course. Oh, and then Cody Gakpo. Brilliant. Oh, brilliant. Gets it into Nunez. And now they're in down the right with Salah, who shoots. And it's wide, and that'll be a corner. Brilliant from Gakpo. My God. Beat like three men. And Spurs on the back foot straight away already. Just there's a lack of belief about this team tonight so far. Robertson's going to swing in an in-swinger. Here it comes. Flicked on at the near post, but Basuma got his body in the way, so that's another corner. Szoboszlai making the run across the front post. Actually, maybe it was Tell. I think it was Tell who ran with Szoboszlai there. He's not as tall as Szoboszlai. It's Danso on Van Dijk, who's at the back post at the moment. Robertson's going to swing in another one. Again to the near post. Flicked on. Kinski saves well on the line. It's still in the box. And no one challenging. Jesus Christ, Spurs. Second ball. We just got away with one. No one challenged for the second ball. Liverpool have it again. It comes out wide left now. Now Gakpo. He's going to have a dig. Oh, and Danso clears it. And again, Spurs cannot get it out. Fucking hell, Spurs. It comes back to Kelleher. Spurs just looks so meek. He plays it long. Danso wins the first one. Comes to Sarr. Out jumped by Gravenberch. And this time Son tries to put his foot through the ball, but it kind of bounces back towards Liverpool. And then Sarr pulls out of another challenge. Fucking Sarr, get him off the pitch. Finally, we get the ball down to Spence. He plays it down the line into Tell's first meaningful touch. Finds Spence, who's pushed off, and Spence so strong there. Can he put Tell through? That's a foul to Spurs. Jed Spence is the only one who's brave on this pitch. Tell found him with a good ball. It was a good save from Kinski, by the way. The ball came in at the near post. Flicked on by Szoboszlai. I'll tell you what, Kinski sees it very late. He's got a man right in front of him, Gakpo. And he just parries it away. Important save. And then Tell cleared the second one. Spurs have the ball now, though. Play it into Tell. Kind of holds it up. Comes back to Basuma. Plays it back to Tell. Oh, and he tried to thread the needle there to Kulusevski, but it's blocked. But that was better. At least a bit of bravery on the ball. And Liverpool clear it, and it's a Spurs throw. Davis now is going to have to go back to the keeper. Oh, he doesn't. He tries to play a difficult ball, and now Salah is in down the right. He plays the ball in, but Kinski... Oh, and that's going to be a penalty, is it? Yeah. Fuck. Ben Davis tried to play a paradise ball through midfield. It's intercepted, and then Salah is wrong side, and he plays a through ball, and Nunes gets a touch on it just ahead of Kinski, brings him down. It's a penalty. And this is it for Spurs, I'm afraid. This might end up 4 or 5. And I said it looked like Ben Davis was going to go back to Kinski because he was under the pressure again. The press from Liverpool just left him with no options, but he tried a paradise ball between 3 players into midfield, between the lines, and it was intercepted. And that's when Tottenham have to be quick on the second ball. And they weren't quick on the second ball. Now, Mo Salah took a lot of penalties against Hugo Lloris, and I do not remember Lloris really saving any from Salah. And so now he's up against Antonin Kinski. Come on, kid. I cannot see Spurs getting back in this game if we concede now. We've been so shit in this game. Here he comes. He's going to do his little run around the ball, Salah. He's just waiting for Kinski to stop moving. He does the run. Will he go down the middle? No, top corner. You can't save that. I think Postecoglou has to make a change now. He has to change something in midfield because Sarr, even in this first few minutes of the second half, has just been absolutely fucking dog shit. Dog shit. Just not even challenging. Pulling out of challenges again in the wrong place. Not what? Just bring on Bergvall. At least Bergvall's got some bite about him. He'll get his booking. Of course he will. But now we're 2-0 down, 2-1 down on aggregate. And Liverpool are just going to shut up shop. Kinski went the wrong way, but it went in the top corner anyway. Just slotted it. Top corner. Brilliant penalty. Fuck off. Tottenham have just been terrible tonight. Just offered nothing. And got another injury, of course, to Richarlison. Spence running down the line, does well. Son finds Spence into Sarr, who finds it down the line to Son. Can he get ahead of his man? No, he can't. Bradley does brilliantly there, Connor Bradley, to be fair. Oh. Liverpool managed to clear it. Oh my God, and Spurs give it away. Bentancur, you got to take a foul there. Take a booking. He hasn't taken a booking, and now they're in down the right, and Salah is running at Ben Davies. Outside the foot cross, and it's well cleared by Danso. Comes to Jed Spence, who's completely on his own. And he does well to hold it up there because he was pressed. Liverpool's just press is ridiculous. Ange stroking his chin. Make a change, mate. Make a change. Spurs go down the line. Son unable to hold it up. Just Spurs have been second to everything. Son gives it to Sarr, who manages to keep the ball. Go on, Sarr. Change my mind. Plays it down the line. Tell totally beaten to the ball by Van Dijk. He's not going to be the first and he won't be the last. Liverpool just honestly playing great stuff, but Spence flies in. Good lad. That's a throw in. Spence, the only player on the pitch for Spurs, with Danso maybe, showing a bit of fucking guts here. Flying into challenges, going in hard. Come on, Ange. You've got to do something different. So we're going to get absolutely done here. Ben Davies is beaten in the air. Fucking hell. They're in down the left. But it's thankfully a terrible ball from Andy Robertson because Gakpo would have been one-on-one there down the left-hand side. This is so easy for Liverpool at the moment. Good ball from Danso out to Basuma. The lesser spotted Basuma. He's not been in this game so far. Finds Kulusevski. Goes inside to Gray. Liverpool just all over our players. Kulusevski goes down the line. Does well to find Gray, but he can't get it. But finds Kulusevski. He loses it. Fucking shit! They're so confident, Liverpool, and they've got so much energy, and we do not. Kelleher now goes long. Up to Gakpo. Archie Gray gets his body in, and therefore it goes out for Spurs. So that's good stuff from Gray. Gray goes down the line to Decky, who feels it in his back. Oh, and turns his man brilliantly. And now Decky is running narrow. He slots in Tell. He's in the inside right position. Oh, and he whacks. That should be a corner. He does well there. He tried to whack it across the box, Tell, and it got a deflection. That's a corner. And Tell is doing what I hate players doing. He's asking the fans for more. Spurs fans, but Spurs only had really Sonny in the box. Sarr was making a late one. To be honest, set piece is our best chance in this game at the moment because we have been absolutely shit and we look devoid of belief. We look intimidated by the ground and the atmosphere. We've been poor with these corners. They've hit Liverpool players every time. Here comes Kulusevski with the in-swinger. Comes deep. It's cleared by Nunes. Every single one has hit Nunes. Bentancur gets the first ball here. Comes narrow and then has to come back. And Spence finds Sarr outside him. And Sarr's first touch is backwards, but the second one finds Spence in midfield, who takes a heavy one, but at least he went for the 50-50. And now we've lost it in midfield, and Salah is running at Pap Sarr one-on-one. Show him the line. Great tackle, Sarr. The best thing he's done all match. I'll give him credit for that. And now we've lost it, but it's a throw-in. And Porro and Bergvall are coming on, and I would have done it much earlier, to be honest. Danso goes back to Kinski. Gives it to Ben Davies. Spence and Sarr running in the same area. But Spence is the only one being brave here. Plays a lovely ball inside to Bentancur. He's got to keep it. Gets a bit lucky and gets it back. Could have given it to Basuma there, but turns away. And now surrounded as ever by 3 or 4 Liverpool players. Comes out to Danso. Oh dear. Tried to play a ball between the lines there, Danso, and it wasn't a good one, but cleared by Van Dijk. And now the subs will be made. 56th minute. Who's going to come off? '29. I think that's Sarr. Yeah, it is Sarr. Ironic, he just did his best thing stopping Salah, but he's been poor. And Basuma. That says a lot, doesn't it? So they were both poor. We talked about it at half-time, and they've both been taken off. So Porro, we've got to think, will play right back. Spence left back, and Archie Gray, I guess, will move into central midfield. In which case, I would say let Bentancur play in the kind of 6 role as Danso goes back and Kinski dinks it over Salah towards Archie Gray. He goes forward into Son, who takes a good touch and finds Bergwall, whose first touch is good. Oh, I tell you what, he had a chance to play it into Tell there. And he goes in the end to Bentancur, who finds, it wasn't Tell, it was Spence. But Spence is in down the right now and a chance to get a cross in. He holds it up. He has Bentancur with him. Bentancur had made a run, but Danso plays a lovely ball into Spence, who gets the ball in the box, but Sonny didn't attack narrow there. His job there is to go from out to in, and he didn't. Anyway, Spurs replenishing the ball now. Porro on the right. Into Spence. Into Bergwall, who comes to Bentancur. And maybe just a little change in the fact that we have players more able to keep the ball now, technically, as Archie Gray tries to turn Salah, and Salah pressing him, and he has to go back to the keeper, but I don't mind that. Just that little more improvement in the technical ability on the pitch has helped, but he should have done that at half-time. Kulusevski does brilliantly, and Son has space out wide left. Now he can run at Connor Bradley towards the box. Little step over and outside. He goes to Kulusevski down the line. Kulusevski turns away from the byline, goes to the edge of the box, and Bentancur, he's going to have a dig here. Oh, dearie me. Fucking Rose Z, but anyway, that was better from Spurs. Why didn't Ange do that change at half-time? We could all see it. We could all see it. And as a result, we've conceded the second goal. Kelleher now going long from the goal kick. It's a flat one. Up over Porro, who bumps his man well. Bumps Gakpo. And Danso sweeps up behind him and goes straight to Kinski. And Nunes puts the pressure on Kinski. Deary me. And that pressure leads to Kinski. He nearly lost it to Nunes, but thankfully, he in trying to play the pass, he kicks it out. But, dearie me, he needs to be a bit quicker there. I like Kinski a lot. But throw into Liverpool on their right-hand side. Bradley with it. Don't forget, guys, make sure you are subscribed to Chris's channel and give this video a like. Nearly 3,000 people watching, guys. Thanks so much for your support. Also, do come and subscribe to my channel. You see it in the bottom left-hand corner there. As Bergwall puts the press on the back line of Liverpool. And they go back to Kelleher. Tell has not been in this game yet. As he puts the press on, but he's on his own pressing. So Kelleher is easily able to find his wide man. And then Gakpo does brilliantly and brings it back narrow. Tell is asking Son to work with him. Everyone's a bit slow to the press here, and that's why they've got through. But Bentancur got important touching, but it luckily falls to Jones. And now he's driving. They're in down the left now with Gakpo, who dinks it to the free header. Slobosnai, whatever his name is, Shabozlai. Straight down the keeper's throat. And Kinski, oh dear, Kinski trying to play it to Ben Davis, just kicks it off the pitch. It's going to happen with the young kid, but we need to be strong here as Liverpool take it quickly, and they're in a dangerous position in the right-hand channel now. Only nutmegs in Bradley, cuts it back, and it goes wide from Nunes. It hits the side netting. Archie Gray into Tell. And he's being pressed hard, and that's a throw-in. Just whenever Spurs get any space, they're so pressed. Gray gives the ball into Tell, who loses it straight away because he's pressed by Konate. Now Liverpool easily passing it through midfield, and Salah running at Archie Gray, which he'll fancy. Holds him up, Gray, with Son's help. Bentancur looks like he's slowed down a bit. He's just kind of walking about a bit here. We're just so subservient to Liverpool as Salah beats Son, plays it inside Gray. Oh, good stuff from Ben Davis. Back heels it to Sonny there. But Son's on his own. Has to go to Archie Gray. His first touch is bad, and then he kicks it off the pitch. Jesus Christ, Tottenham. There's just no belief whatsoever. There's no belief that they can beat this Liverpool press. No belief, no energy, no motivation. All the chickens coming home to roost here for Tottenham. 62 minutes gone. And it's the energy levels more than anything. Kulusevski tries to press Van Dijk, but he easily finds Bradley, who's a very confident player for his age. As Tell now puts the press on Konate, but they easily go back to the keeper Kelleher, and Tell is trying to ask his players to press with him, and Bergwall does. So Kelleher goes long, straight down the middle. Ben Davis wins the first one, but of course the second ball drops straight to Mo Salah, who comes narrow. And there's so much space in midfield for Liverpool. They're in down the left. Gakpo, big chance. Wide. Is it tipped wide by the keeper? Oh, it's hit the post. Does he get a tip on it? No, just hits the post. But he should have really crossed it because Nunes was free in the middle. Spurs get away with one there. And of course, we've lost the ball already. So horrible to watch. So horrible to watch this. Liverpool just taking the piss out of us, really. Their energy levels, they're just first and second to everything. Bentancur does at least win one there. And goes back and across to Danso, who's put under pressure, so has to go backwards. Curtis Jones it is putting the pressure on him, and now Nunes putting the pressure on. And Ben Davis goes between the lines into Tell, whose first touch is good into Bentancur. There's a little bit of space, but he's pressed, and he loses it to Jones, and then he wins it back briefly, and then he loses it. Oh, and Spurs just pulling out of 50-50s, but Bergwall goes in, and that's why Bergwall should have been at half-time. And a ball attempted over the top towards Tell, and Tell tries to get in behind Bradley, and Bradley lets it go out. But that's why Bergwall should have been on at half-time. Huge 50-50 win. Gray loses it in midfield. Drops to Davis, who plays a good ball into Bentancur, whose return to Gray is not good. Oh, and Liverpool now break out, and they have pace in midfield. Just so much more. They've got so much more acceleration through midfield, and now it's Gakpo running at Porro. He's got to show him the outside. You know that Gakpo's trying to come inside, and in the end, Gakpo tries to pass it. Oh dear, and Porro got it back, did okay, but finds Sonny with a horrible ball, and Sonny actually does really well then. Wins a throw-in. Tottenham absolutely horrible today. Liverpool are brilliant, I have to say. They are brilliant, but Tottenham appalling. Great. Throws it into Tell, who loses it straight away again. Tell cannot hold it up. Liverpool just so easily, and Bergwall fouls in midfield. I don't mind that. At least show him you're there. Fouls Curtis Jones. He's had a good game. Liverpool fans are really in this. They're just enjoying it. It's like a fucking testimonial, to be honest. Just popping it about. Play it into Gakpo. There was just one issue there where Gakpo had so much space, and you know it's Gakpo and wants to get on his right foot, so Porro should be showing him the left. He doesn't. Anyway, we got away with it. And Liverpool now breaking the press very simply, but Bentancur gets a good touch in, but it doesn't forward. Just falls to Liverpool players every time, but really good from Kulusevski in midfield there, winning it back. And now he's running at no one. because no one's making a move for him. And Nunes chasing back. The strikers even pressing all the way back into their own half for Liverpool. They want this really badly. I'll say it. I really misjudged Liverpool's motivation levels from this. They really want it. I think they're pissed off because of the goal we scored at the end of the first leg, and that's probably been our biggest problem here. They are so pumped for it, and we cannot handle them at the moment. And getting agitated on the bench. Maybe bring Mikey Moore on. Just something different. Richarlison is on the bench. Probably got ice on his calf, I would have thought. I'd bring Mikey Moore on for Sonny, you know, maybe. Just something different, because Sonny's not in this game. Easy throw into midfield. Oh my God, it just throws it straight to Nunes. It's so easy for them. And then they just dink it over the top. Ben Davies gets a good header, and then Bentancur coming to sweep up the second one, but he let Danso come through with it. And Danso is fouled. Maybe that was the right decision in the end, but I thought Bentancur should have dealt with that. Danso did well. Come on. Let's get a set piece and find a way to get a goal somehow. Come on. Need a bit of luck, and this would be the ultimate lucky game if we got out of this, because we have been fucking awful. Danso lays it out to Spence. He plays a good ball into Porro, who chips it over for Spence. Beautiful stuff, and Spurs are in down the right now. Spence cuts it back onto his left foot. There's nobody really in the box. And now he's got men coming. And Spence goes for the shot in the end. And I'm not surprised because there was no one really in the box. It was an acute angle, but he might as well have a shot in the hope. You know, if he could have gone across the keeper, maybe Keller would have made a save and it might come out to one of us. Liverpool just dink it over the top, and Salah holds it up from Ben Davies. And Ben Davies had to take his yellow card there, and he doesn't. And now Szoboszlai is in, and they're totally free at the back post. Bergvall with a huge sliding tackle means the ball doesn't get to the back post. Ben Davies had to take a booking there. He didn't. We're into the last 22 minutes. Another corner for Liverpool. I hate this game. I hate this performance. I really do. I thought this was what Ange wasn't going to do. It just seems like the energy levels are too much. Here comes the corner. Kinsey's got to be strong. Actually, it's Bentancur who's strong at the end, but no, Canate seemed to head it over the bar. Oh yeah, Canate gets up with Bentancur. Bit of a clash of heads. Hate to say it, but let's hope he's a little bit dazed, because we need something to change. Tottenham have basically not made a chance in 70 minutes of football. This is like watching prime fucking Jose ball or Conte ball. Liverpool now going to make a change. They're bringing on a £100 million pound player in McAllister, and Jota, who was worth a lot of money as well. Archie Gray spending a lot of time basically left back at the moment, isn't he? Is he not playing in midfield? He's just being pressed so hard wherever he gets the ball, Archie Gray, that he started to lose it. And I have spoken in videos, you know, he's great when the game's in front of him at the moment, but we haven't seen enough of Archie Gray so far to see what he's like as Spence is pushed in the back and loses the ball. Looks like Archie Gray is playing at left back here. Porro right back. Okay, so Spence has moved forward into a wide, what looks like a wide right position. Certainly at the moment, anyway. Bentancur plays it to Bergvall. Back to Ben Davies, who goes to Danso, who finds Spence. Goes inside to Porro, who's at least moving about for him. Porro plays a big swinging crossfield ball to Sonny, and it's good. Sonny has Gray outside him here. And Sonny was going to shoot there, but he plays it into Gray. It's a bit overhit, though. And Gray tries the dinked cross. Oh, and in the end, the keeper has to... Oh, and he's given a goal kick when the keeper's punched it off the pitch. I bet when we see the replay of this, because Gray gets a cross in. It's a corner off... Fucking hell, it's a corner off the fucking fullback. It's a corner off the fullback, and the keeper taps it over the bar, and the ref has given a goal kick. Wow. Wow. Sometimes you know it's not your day. So McAllister and Jota on for Jones and Nunes, as if Liverpool weren't energetic enough. But that is some of the worst refereeing and assistant refereeing I've ever seen. Literally, the ball was deflected, so it went off the pit. It went under the keeper's crossbar, and then he two hands it over the crossbar, and the ref gives a goal kick. Absolutely embarrassing. But because Tottenham's performance has been so poor, that is what we are left literally to be annoyed about. Oh, heavy touch though. Gives it to Kulusevski, who finds Archie Gray. Kulusevski gives him a return run, but no. Gray pulls it back, finds Decky. But Liverpool have 3 men around him. Tries to use his strength, but cuts it in well for Bentancur. Go forward, Rodrigo. Fucking go forward. Because we just broke 3 players' press there. Danso beats a man. Plays it well into Son. Kulusevski's outside him, but he doesn't go. He tries to get the cross in. Son. It's been so poor, but gets in there. And Danso now being a bit braver on the edge of the box, but then Tell loses it, and we are out of position. Bentancur is back, and Bentancur does well. And finds Porro, who finds Bentancur. At least Danso being a bit braver on the ball than anybody else there. I don't mind that at all. 20 shots to Liverpool, 3 to Spurs. But that was frustrating in midfield there, because we managed to beat their 3-man press, and then Bentancur instinctively went backwards, and he didn't need to. Ben Davies now being put under pressure. He tries the dink over the top to Son. Oh, and it just comes through to Kelleher. That's a shame. That was something different, though. At least that might put something in the Liverpool mind. Finally, 73rd minute, as we tried a ball over the top. Oh, my God. Just the space Szoboszlai has got in central midfield. And they break through us, and they're 3-on-2 against us here. This is going to be a goal. The ball is a bit behind Gakpo. That might save us, but there'll be someone free at the back post. Comes to Gravenberch. Szoboszlai is now free. Will he have a shot? No, he goes to Gravenberch. He has a shot. Hits the post. Surprised the ref hasn't given that as a corner. It's not a corner. Ben Davies plays it into midfield. Tells pops it off nicely to Bentancur, who again goes backwards, but he didn't have more options that time. And Bergvall finds it out wide to Spence. Goes backwards to Bergvall. Brave on the ball, Bergvall. Again, the press. Danso to Davies. Goes back to Danso. He's got Spence outside him. Finds him. 74 minutes gone now. Plays it down the line to Porro, who loses it. Tottenham's inability to hold the ball up in the final third has just been embarrassing, to be honest. And Liverpool through the middle again. It's going to be the goal. This is it. And it is. Szoboszlai straight down the middle of the pitch. Tottenham unable to hold the ball up in the final third. And then it's basically just 2 passes, goal. Men against boys. Tottenham absolutely dominated all game. It's McAllister who's just come on. He just drives through the middle. Spurs players, just one pass. I think it's to Bradley, who just pops it off to Szoboszlai, who's literally, you could drive a fucking bus through Spurs. I said it, didn't I? This could end up being 4 or 5. And Spurs, I fear, our tiredness will really hit home in this next 10, 15 minutes. And this could be a very ugly week for Ange Postecoglou. 14th in the league. We were all hoping that this would be it. I genuinely thought we would be more motivated than Liverpool, and we'd make chances. We just haven't. Been awful. And Bentancur loses it straight away again. We're just unable to keep up with their press. And I hate to say it, but this could end up just being a very horrible season for Tottenham Hotspur. Ref just gives a fucking foul and the keeper wasn't. And listen, we've been shit. We don't deserve anything. But when a set piece is probably our best chance of doing anything, and the ref doesn't give a corner when a cross is deflected to under their own bar, and the Kelleher just puts it behind for a goal kick, for a corner, sorry, and the ref doesn't give it, you know nothing's happening for you. We've conceded 3 goals tonight. It's been piss poor. Liverpool still pressing us all the way up to Kinski. Gives it to Ben Davis. It goes first time to Gray. Goes inside to Tell, who has a bit of space. He plays a beautiful pass to Sonny, who's into the box now, but his first touch is poor. He's running at Konate. Gets to the byline. Oh, and hits the bar. What a goal that would have been. Beautiful from Tell. He's shown little glimpses of how good his touch is. And that was a fantastic pass in between the fullback to Sonny. 13 minutes left. Bentancur, fucking hell, just played a first-time ball straight to Liverpool. Wonder if Tell's wondering if he's made the right decision now. Archie Gray cuts out a pass, though. Comes inside narrow, plays a good ball into Kulusevski. He's got Son outside, but Kulusevski tries to come onto his right foot. What the fuck are you doing? Decky's form the last few weeks has been so poor. He's obviously just completely knackered. Deary me. Oh, God. Oh, this is so ugly, and it has been the whole game. Kelleher plays it out. Bergvall tries to put the press on, but easily dealt with by Gravenberch, and now Bradley running at Spurs. Liverpool just playing through us, knife through butter, and they're in on the left now, and Gakpo's going to be in down the left. No, Robertson goes for the shot. It's deflected over the bar by Porro, but that should be given as a goal kick. That should be a goal kick. Well, I thought deflections over the bar weren't given in this game, but it has been given Liverpool's direction, obviously. Just so easy for them. They've got so much more energy, so much more legs. 3,000 of you watching, guys. Thanks for the support. This is the end of our League Cup run. I thought this might be us this season, but no. Comes the in-swing corner. It's headed in. Van Dijk, 4-0. In-swinging corner. He jumps highest, wants it more, just like Liverpool have wanted it more all over the pitch tonight. This is very ugly for Big Ange Postecoglou. (4-0), and I don't think that's where the scoring is going to stop. Just makes a late run to the edge of the 6-yard box. Easy. Now Mikey Moore's coming on. Like, what's the fucking point? Do it when you're 2-0 up, down, so that something can change. He's made his substitutions too late every time. I fear for Ange Postecoglou, I do, because this could end up being 5 or 6. And yeah, we made it through to the last 16 of the Europa League, but Davis taken off. Jesus Christ. Who's going in the back four now? Jed Spence will go back there, I guess. Bentancur's been poor today. Very poor. Kelleher goes long. Archie Gray gets the ball down well. It's actually Archie Gray who's gone into the back four, which is where he looks most comfortable as far as I'm concerned at centre-back. And the game's all ahead of him. Didn't look that comfortable at left-back. Danso plays it out wide. Porro's made a run, but Van Dijk, so good. Oh, dear. Kelleher then just whacked it along the ground and it fucking nutmegged Mikey Moore. And now they're in down the left with Andy Robertson. They're in down the left here. Spence clears it. Tottenham just jogging around now. My girlfriend describes supporting Tottenham as a mental illness, and it really is, because I really genuinely believed we might get something in this and be at Wembley. I've been telling my Newcastle mate that I think we're going to play them at Wembley. Once again proven I know absolutely fuck all about football. Arne Slot has got that team playing unbelievably well. It's just the levels, the energy levels. And I'll say it again. Arne Slot manages to get his first team on the pitch every week. You know? There is something about what Spurs are doing that doesn't... Oh, chance. Heavy touch, but it's still in the box. Wide for another corner. There's something that is happening at Tottenham Hotspur, either through Ange Postecoglou and his training methods, the relentlessness he asked for them from the pitch and on the training ground, but there is something that means we do not get the players on the pitch. And it's all come to roost in this game. Because Liverpool, these players play together every single week. They're a million times better than us. And we have 10 players out and we don't have anyone on the pitch. We haven't had anyone on the pitch all day who can get on the football and keep the football. And as a result, we're losing 4-0. It's probably about to be 5-0, I would have thought. As an in-swinging corner comes in again onto Kinski's head. It's cleared at the front post this time by Bentancur, but comes out again. Oh, and a big slide-in tackle from Spence there. It's another corner to Liverpool. And the fans asking for a foul to be given there, but it can't be because he didn't give a foul against Liverpool player who did exactly the same in the first half. Oh, has he given a foul? Oh, he has given a foul. Literally the same thing happened in the first half, where the player jumped in, got the ball, and I said, oh, that should be a foul because he jumped in, didn't give the foul, and now the Spurs player does it, and of course it's a foul. This ref, man, fucking hell. It obviously has nothing to do with the reason why we're getting absolutely pulverized, but he has been shite. It's Craig Pawson, I think. Oh, God. Don't forget, after this game, there'll be an instant match reaction followed by a fan show. I speak to fans from around the world. Going to be an ugly watch, an ugly listen. Free kick, dangerous area for Liverpool. Free header, and it should be 5. Free header for Jota. Didn't put it away. Another substitution for Liverpool. And they're even able to bring Virgil van Dijk off. The ultimate taking of the piss. Bring your captain off. It's the hope that kills you. Every time, it's the hope that kills you. See what you guys are saying in the comments. Lots of people in the comments saying Ange out. Yeah. Anyway, Archie Gray plays it down the line. Tell chasing, but just there's no. Well, yeah, we're just rubbish. Really rubbish. He wanted minutes, Tell. He's definitely going to get them because Richarlison's now injured. So he'll be playing in the number 9. Bentancur foul. Oh, Porro foul, sorry. Alan Smith on co-commentary just saying there's never been any doubt in this game whatsoever. And that is the understatement of the century. Tottenham just not turning up, absolutely pussying out of this. Must be fun for teams to play us when we got 10 players out, though. And Liverpool just popping it about now. Spence actually just a little bit of a late challenge on Jota, which I don't mind, but a little bit too little, too late. Liverpool just popping it about so easily. Play it down the line. Little back heel. Oh, and actually, Danso, who's done well today. I mean, considering we've conceded 4 goals, but I think he's done as well as he could really today. Can only hope now with 3 minutes left that the ref kind of goes easy on us and doesn't give too much added time. But Liverpool just pressing so hard, like in every position. None of our players have any time on the ball. They press with 4 up front. And Kinski has to go long, and then they pick up the second ball really easily. And then they break through us with 1 pass. And they're in the box. And it's a poor pass this time from Diaz. Now Mikey Moore gets his first meaningful touch on the ball, tries to turn his man. And they keep it on Liverpool because they're about 25%. They've got about 25, 30, maybe 35% more energy than Spurs. Just, wow. I don't remember a more one-sided game than this. Really, 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 really bad. '89th minute. Sonny's still on the pitch. He's been so poor tonight. Just letting Canate just drift past him. Are Liverpool going to win like a quadruple this year? Jesus Christ. Don't forget, Tottenham interviewed Arne Slot. And he wasn't turned on by the project. But he certainly knows how to get a team playing. Doesn't mean he would have been able to get Spurs playing. So they play one over the top, but Kinski claims it. Throws it out to Bergvall. Gives it to Porro, but everything just being pressed and pressed and pressed. But Bergvall does turn his man, turns McAllister, but then just goes backwards, so it doesn't matter. Comes now wide to Tell. He's come pulled out to the left-hand side. Has to go inside to Bergvall, though. He dinks it over to Porro. I really fear the Aston Villa game at the weekend now, I have to say. I really fear it. Well played by Danso. He's out. How much is the ref going to give of added time? 3 minutes. The big diag comes over towards Son. Son expected to kind of challenge in the air with Canate. Completely ridiculous. But Kulusevski picks it up, goes wide to Spence, but it's a bad ball and slips under Spence's boot. Spence does well to win the ball back there, uses his strength well, gives it into Son. He's going to try and bend one. Great effort over the bar. Thanks for your support, guys. 3,000 of you watching. Please do give the video a like. Press subscribe to Chris's channel and subscribe to my channel there in the bottom left as well. I'll do my instant match reaction in a minute, but one of the most depressing nights I've had as a Spurs fan, I allowed myself to believe, and that was idiotic. Gakpo, I said before the game, he's the one we've got to worry about, and he's just been given man of the match. Oh, and Porro limping. He got a kick, I think. He's all right. So easy for Liverpool to break our press, my God. Can't see Newcastle beating Liverpool in the final. That's something. Liverpool just laying it about, popping it about. Oh, then a bad ball played and Sonny picks it up, but immediately, oh my God. Just the worst pass ever. Liverpool driving at the box. Bergvall gets his body in the way and plays it down the line to Tell. He's under pressure. He's brave on the ball, though, Tell, and just fires it at Jed Spence. Gives it to Bentancur and goes out wide. And we're into the last 40 seconds of the game, so we might get away with a 4-0 here, guys. Praise be. Praise be. Although, here comes, is it Harvey Elliott? It's blocked by Spurs. 10 seconds left. Tell gets the ball down left, plays it inside to Mikey Moore. Finds Tell down the line. Lovely little 1-2. And then the ball goes off. And that will be the end of the game, I would have thought. That is the end of the game. This is my instant match reaction to the Liverpool 4, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Carabao Cup semi-final, second leg. And to use a phrase that I've used before famously, men against boys. Tottenham Hotspur did not show up. Tottenham Hotspur, be it because we don't have the players, we don't have the energy, or we're not coached as well as Liverpool are. I don't have the answer for you. I guess the reality is probably a mixture of all of those things. But we went there as if to just dreadfully hope that Liverpool weren't going to be up for it and we could just let them have the ball the entire game and not be brave in any way. Pussy out of the game, basically. And I listen, the three midfielders who started that game, Sarr, Bissouma and Bentancur. And I have to say, before the game, I thought that was probably the right pick. Strength and energy and bravery. Bissouma, for a player who you think likes to come into the sixth position and get the ball off his back four and take it on the half turn and be brave. My God, he had no belief in his ability whatsoever. Liverpool pressed us. When the ball was with the goalkeeper or the centre halves, they pressed with four players. And then the key point was, when we tried to move the ball around, they sprinted. Whichever player had the ball of our team, they sprinted. And they were at them every time. Not like when Tottenham, when Tottenham give the ball away and we try and press the opposition, we don't sprint to that opposition player. We wait till he takes his touch and then we limber over, we amble over. And today, all Ange's chickens came home to roost. And I'm not solely blaming him, but once again, I do have to say, and I bring it up every time, but someone tell me that I'm completely wrong. Why have we got so many fucking injuries? Why are we playing a team like Liverpool who've had hardly any injuries this season and they don't get injured and they don't get recurrences of their injuries? Richarlison, again, injured tonight. Played 40 minutes, gets a calf muscle. They're all playing in the red zone throughout the entire game and every single game. Perhaps Sarr there shaking Ange's hand and kind of smirking. Perhaps Sarr had one of the worst games I've ever seen from a Tottenham midfielder, honestly, certainly in the last few years. And he should have been taken off at half-time. And somehow Ange waited another kind of 10 minutes to take off both Bissouma and Sarr. And as a result, whereas we were only 1-0 down at half-time, they then get the second goal and it's game over. It's game over. I'll try and look for some positives. Danso, I thought, did all right. Tell showed a little bit in the second half that he's got some good touches. He's brave on the ball. But how long will his hamstrings last? You know, I'm sorry to bring it back to the injuries again every time, but it cannot be coincidence. Another recurrence of an injury. If Richarlison's coming straight back from an injury and you brought a player in like Tell, Richarlison's going to be playing in the red zone. So don't start Richarlison, start Tell. And he didn't. And it's come back to bite him because I'm sure Richarlison will be out for another minimum 3 weeks, month now with a calf strain. But it doesn't matter because we were just shit. Honestly, we were just so bad. So bad. We didn't make a single chance of note in the entire game. We hit the bar in like the 88th minute through Sonny because we played one good ball from Tell down the line. Sonny gets towards... We're already 4-0 down at this point, by the way. Sonny gets to the byline, basically, and he's in such a tight position, you would never, ever say shoot. And he was just like, well, we're 4-0 down, so I'll have a shot. And he pings it against the bar. That was it. Kelleher didn't have to make a single save. We've actually embarrassed ourselves tonight. And the reason I'm going to bring it back to Ange, and I want to state again, I love Ange Postecoglou. There is nothing I would like more than for this to work out for Ange Postecoglou and for him to come through with what he said, which was, I win something in my second season. Well, this was your best chance, Ange. The League Cup was your best chance of winning something this season. And I've said it all year. I think our only chance of winning the Europa League this season was if we won the League Cup first. And we've just gone out in the semis and we've been absolutely embarrassing. Like, as embarrassing a performance as I remember from a Spurs team, probably actually since the League Cup final when we played against Man City and were completely subservient to them under Ryan Mason. And then they got their goal in the 85th minute or something from a corner. Oh, like, I'm not even going to go through the minute by minute because there's nothing about Spurs in it whatsoever. We just sat back in the first half, waited for them to get their goal, which they're always going to get. And of course, they got the goal because Yves Bissouma gets some space in midfield. As ever, as I've said a million times on this, just like sums up what happens under Ange Postecoglou. Yves Bissouma, who can do the hard things incredibly well, then cannot play a 5-yard pass into the run of Pape Sarr. It goes behind him. Liverpool pick it up. They're running at the box. Bissouma's kind of jogging back. Laissez-faire about whether he comes and helps out. Then Salah's one-on-one because we're caught ahead of the ball. He crosses it with the outside of his boot. Could have been stronger trying to clear our lines. We're not. And where does it get to? The back post, where we concede so many goals from. Gakpo totally on his own. Easy finish. Just volleys it into the corner. So that's 1-0. And then, like I said, I think we should have made changes at half-time. He doesn't. I don't know why. And then it's 2-0 with a penalty. Again, Spurs just trying something which we weren't capable of doing. Ben Davis, if memory serves, trying to play a ball between the lines. Liverpool just have so much more energy, so much better at reading the play. They split it up. Comes to Salah, who's free because we're caught ahead of the ball. He plays a through ball through to Nunez. I thought Kinski was going to get there first. He doesn't. Nunez gets the touch, dives over. Salah puts the penalty into the top corner, and it's over then. We know it's over because we've seen against teams like Palace and Ipswich this season. When we go down by a goal, we have no chance of getting it back. So we're certainly not going to do it against Liverpool. And from there, they got the third and the fourth. And third, I think, if memory serves them, just 2 passes, driving a bus through the centre of a huge gap through our midfield and back 4. And the fourth, if that's in the right order, Virgil van Dijk from a header from a set piece. Like literally all the goals, just the absolute epitome of what happens every time we concede under Ange Postecoglou. This is in a semi-final. This is the game we're supposed to be most motivated for all season. I've been saying I think Spurs will be more motivated for this than Liverpool because this is the least important of all the trophies they're in. And by God, I don't know. I said it during the watch-along, but maybe they were so pissed off with what happened with Lucas Bergvall's winner in the first leg that they were just unbelievably pumped up. And they just chased us. They harried us. They suffocated us. It was endless. We could not get out. And this is supposed to be what the antithesis of what Ange Ball is all about. I said it in the watch-along. He went with Celtic to the Bernabeu and played Real Madrid off the park for like 45, 60 minutes. And sure, they got torn apart then. But under Ange, he's like, no, we're not going to go anywhere and just be subservient. Today we were. And I don't know if it's the players taking things into their own hands on the pitch. And that's what happened at Brentford. And it worked for us on Brentford. But tonight it really didn't. But also with the caveat that when they do try to play balls between the lines and try and be clever with it, against Liverpool, they could not handle the energy. They could not deal with any of it. And Liverpool just tore us apart. Just honestly, the most, I've written a note at the end of my my notes, the most one-sided game I've seen in so long. And honestly, it's hard to see where we go from here because we're going to go to Aston Villa devoid of confidence. Villa will put the high press on us again as well. They will watch this Villa tonight. They have the whole week off and they'll be like, just get in their faces, just challenge every single ball. You'll win every first and second ball. You'll have more energy than them. And we might go to Villa at the weekend and lose 3 or 4 as well. And then we're out of both cups. We're 14th in the league, got the Europa League ahead. And answer me this in the comments. Do you think Ange Postecoglou keeps his job then? Do you think so? The only thing saving him, I think, what's happened to Amorim at Man United and how a change hasn't done anything. It's made it worse. And the fact that there are no options, maybe only Terzic. It does look like Levy backed him with those signings at the end of the window. But also you could argue they're signings that any manager who's looking to try and play some kind of attacking system could take on as well. Intel and obviously Danso, a pacey centre-back. I thought he did well tonight, Danso. I really do. Only one kind of thing you could maybe point at him. Could he have been braver, put his head into the mix for the first goal when it comes across the box? Maybe. But I think he did well. But I don't know. Maybe I'm angry at myself because I thought they would be just first into every tackle, show some heart and show some want and press Liverpool up. But they didn't. They didn't have the energy. They didn't have anything. I guess I'll give some ratings. Kinski, he came and punched a few and claimed a couple, gave away a penalty, so I'll have to give him a 5. Spence on the left, I thought was probably our best player. I'll give him a 7. Danso, I'll give a 6.5. Ben Davis, I'll give a 6. Archie Gray, not his best game. Not his best game. I'll give him a 5. Sarr, 3. Bentancur, 4. Bissouma, 4. Kulusevski looks absolutely spent. He looks absolutely knackered. And as a result, he's making bad decisions. His form has dropped off a cliff. I'm going to give him a 4. Son, I'm going to give a 3. Horrible performance from him. Richarlison, 4. Tell when he came on, I thought he showed some good touches. I'll give him a 6. Porro, 5. Mikey Moore, not enough time to make a difference. Ugly, ugly stuff from Anfield. We're intimidated by the crowd, by the ground, by You Never Walk Alone. We never get a result at Anfield. We've only won what there once. I think in the Premier League era, it shows we don't have the fucking fight for this. And the only time we've had the fight to go places like Anfield, I'm sorry, was under Pochettino. And somehow we have allowed Maurizio Pochettino, when we had the second chance to get him in, we have allowed him to go and do the American national team job. And we didn't know how lucky we were to have Maurizio Pochettino. I'm sorry, guys, but we didn't. And I know people say never go back, but he gave us a spirit where we could go to places like this and fight. I watched Spurs at Anfield where we drew there 2-2, where Harry Kane scored that beautiful goal on the half turn in the box. And we've never had the spirit like we did then. Oh, so frustrating. That's been my instant match reaction. Thanks for watching. Please do give this video a like. Please do subscribe to the channel. So gutting. So gutting. And I fear for the weekend at Aston Villa. Okay, guys, this is the fan show. after the Liverpool 4, Tottenham Hotspur 0, Carabao Cup semi-final, second leg. I'll be talking to a number of Spurs fans from around the world, and we'll be discussing that absolutely diabolical performance. Listen, I'm not desperately looking forward to this, but what can you do? Sometimes it's important to try and find ways to find some positives or speak to fellow Spurs fans and see if we can do anything. So first up, I'm going to Turkey and Orkun. Can you hear me, mate?
Yes, Barnaby. How are you? Well,
yeah, well, I'm absolutely appalling, Orkun, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've just heard, my watch along and the instant match reaction. Are you feeling similarly? Are you feeling more angry, or what have you got?
Yeah, just totally frustrated. I mean, tonight it really looked like boys against men, and I got to say, I mean, look, I know obviously our squad is decimated, and some of the players like Kulusevski, I totally agree with you. Today he just looks spent. He was making all sorts of mistakes. I would say his kind of form in the last couple of games hasn't been great. Son is also just non-existent. And usually those are the players that we look to. They're supposed to be the sort of the leaders of the team. And they just look spent, to be honest. We just couldn't seem to get out of our end.
Couldn't hold it up in the final third. And I said it when Solanke got injured. I said, I cannot. It's going to be so difficult going to Anfield now if you can't even challenge players like Konate and Van Dijk.
Exactly. I mean, Richarlison is like a ghost. I know he tries and, he got injured again, it looks like, but he's just, there's such a massive chasm between what Solanke does and what Richarlison does. It's like, it's miles apart, and I think we just have to, I really hope in the summer, look, I'm sure he's a lovely guy and stuff, but, Premier League is such, is such a competitive arena that you just can't allow for things like that. I really hope that we replace him, because I think we need two really strong forward players with the type of system that Ange plays. And there is such a drop in quality, when you take Solanke out of there.
But it wasn't really. I mean, it was partly that, but also for me, I don't know. Answer me this, mate. Do you think that we weren't able to keep up with their energy because of the injuries, because of motivation, or something else? Because they just, it's a cliche, but they wanted it so much more, and we didn't have the belief to do anything.
Yeah, no, they were definitely up for it, for sure. But I do, part of it is, I think it does come back to the fact that, they are able to rotate so well, because like when they bring in their subs, today, when it was even towards the end of the game, he brought on, the players that he brought on would walk straight into a lot of the teams in the Premier League, not just our team, but a lot of the teams in the Premier League. So there's such a big difference between their squad depth and our squad depth. But yeah, most of our players just look spent.
Orkun, let me ask you another question then. Why do we get more injuries than any other club in terms of first team players?
Yeah, that's the big mystery, isn't it? Like, look, even going back to Poch was famous for his double sessions on a daily basis. And his motto was, we suffer during the week so we can, enjoy the weekend and win matches. And yeah, we never seem to suffer this either. Conte was famous for his run. So I don't know whether it's the medical team or, I don't know whether it's,
it can't be, because it's the same medical team, or at least it was when Ange started. It was the same medical team that we had under all of those managers. So do you know what? You've just mentioned something there that's made me think something different for the first time. Is it possible that he's underworking them in training?
Possibly.
Because I've been talking about, I assume it's like relentless training, because he talks about his relentlessness, but maybe it's the opposite and he's underplaying. But some of the things coming out, because the head of sports science left the club and alluded to the fact that Ange was taking risks with players when they weren't ready to play.
Right. I don't know. I mean, if that's the case, then obviously that's not great because, especially, obviously it's the Premier League, and the way we play in the Premier League is such a physical league. And it's, 100 miles an hour non-stop. And obviously for squads to kind of get through that, survive that, everybody, including the manager, the medical team, the physios, everybody has to be on the same page. And if there are obviously contradictions there between the different departments, then obviously, I don't think that's going to work. I did find it interesting though, obviously when, before Ange, all the majority of the managers that we had, I mean, Poch, literally when he goes into a job, he goes in there with about 5-6 different backroom staff. And I think Mourinho is the same. He's got his sort of 2 or 3 men that he always goes into, no matter what club or what job he goes to, he goes with them. I think Conte had 1 or 2, but Ange just basically just turned up by himself, and that didn't. I did kind of question that a little bit. I thought, doesn't this guy have any kind of, like a fitness coach or whatever, that he doesn't work?
It was seen as a positive at the time. I mean, I'm sure it was a positive to Daniel Levy not having to pay for a whole load of people coming in and out. But
exactly. But then the thing is, obviously, because again, going back to Poch, I know I keep going back to Poch, but I was the same, mate. I was so desperate for Poch to come back. I wasn't happy when Ange came in. I've got to be honest with you. I wasn't an Ange fan when he arrived because I didn't know much about him. But because Poch was available for a second coming, I was just so hopeful, and I thought, well, like one of these days. But obviously, Ange came in, and we had that pre-season. Everything seemed to be positive. We got some early business done as soon as the window opened, and then obviously the first 10 games, 1 8, draw 2. I thought, oh, okay, and I came around to it. But then obviously we had the little well, not little, it was a bit of a crisis last season as well, between October and January, February. But I don't know. I really don't know. Like tonight as well, some of his selections surprised me. I've got to be honest with you. Like, I know obviously we haven't got many players available, but I really thought, why not start, Tell and Danzo would have been the most freshest players, and they've just come in. I know they've only just come in, but if Danzo can start, I thought Tell can start as well.
Like I said, and he's played Richarlison. He's played Richarlison in the red zone. Now it looks like he's injured. Listen, Orkan, thank you so much, mate, for being a part of the show today. I've got to let you go because I've got people to talk to, but hopefully speak to you after a better result of the weekend. Cheers, mate. Sorry about that. Okay, next I'm going to Australia, and is it Shay or Shy? How you doing?
It's Shy. Hey, guys, nice to see you again, Barnaby. And hopefully you can hear me. I'm just standing outside the local Burger King because I had to leave my partner's house because their kids sleeping. So it kind of suits the how I'm feeling.
How did you? So what did you make of that performance, Shy?
I don't know if I know you swore a little bit before, but I'm fucking hurt. I'm standing here wearing my Spurs Tokyo shirt, getting to the game in June. We put in money to this. It just hurts, this one. I don't know. I don't remember that old Chelsea guy you see on YouTube. He's an idiot, but he got to come on. He's like, there's lack of fight, lack of passion, like he would go off. But honestly, it felt like that today. It just hurt. Kinski, he had errors in him, like he's still new, but it just felt like, as you said it perfectly correct, the midfield, like no one got to the first ball. We were just giving it away. I felt sorry for Archie Gray. Any other defender, we slate them, but he's been playing off the park so well out of position. Was this a semi-final? Was this and have we won 10 trophies in the last 5 years? We just didn't it felt like almost like that passion there. It's they call it the Mickey Mouse Cup, but Jesus, I'll take the Donald Duck Cup for all I care. We need something. It was shit.
Shy, you're Australian. Shy, sorry to interrupt, mate, but you're Australian, and there's obviously a very strong pro-Ange sentiment from the Australian
I'm on this.
Yeah, go on.
I didn't know that much about Ange. I knew him when they started. Went to Yokohama a little bit. to me, it's like, yes, I want Ange to succeed, and yes, we are behind him being Australian and that. But to me, it's like I'm still on the fence with Ange. It's so hard to know what to think with it, because today I don't think it was about injuries, and I've all been about it. Like, you can't judge him in that up until he hasn't had a full squad. We're having players who have played. I was at like 8 of the home games in the UK recently. We played 15 games, most of the same players in the last 2 months and that. But today, I don't say I've seen that performance before, because I know that we struggled in semi-finals, but I feel like you could have had a Kane in that team today, and there was just a lack. There was a lack of everything. It was almost like, as you said, we got intimidated by Anfield.
Yeah, we
got there, and sorry. Yeah, I'm just hurting badly today, hurting a lot.
Yeah, just saying lack of belief, really. Listen, we got the Aston Villa game now Sunday night, and I said it in my post match. I said, if you're Aston Villa, you're probably watching that game, and Emery will get them in the morning. Just be like, we've had a free week. You guys should be a lot fitter. They've got 10 people out. Just get in their faces, press them to death, 4 press from the front, and presumably we're going to go out of the FA Cup on Sunday as well, aren't we?
Look, the only thing I'll say with Aston Villa is we seem to be a little bit of a bogey team in a way, kind of like we, when they're on good form, we still seem to get a result. I feel like it's still early in the FA Cup. I just feel, pressure's there, but I feel like it's, we're always the bridesmaid, never the bride. We fall at the most important hurdles, and so I don't know. It could be anything with this team as well. Against Aston Villa, I would not hedge a bet on anything. Yeah, I know you're saying before, could this be Ange's last game? Last game if he loses to them. Again, it's kind of hard as well, because you asked me, if we didn't sign Taylor, we didn't sign anyone. The whole Levy, Enoch out and Joe Lewis out and whatever you want with it. I guess the sentiment's changed a bit because we have signed those players, but I still think it was negligible, because we've got injuries because of how late the signings came in. So, and I'm not, as I said, I'm not even about Ange. You could have had Joe Schmo, whoever, in managing the team. It's not about that, but I don't think making a change makes a difference. It doesn't with our current team, and I hate the term Spursy. I hate it, but today fundamentally was Spursy. We went there and we're just like, there was no belief. That there was just no belief that we were going to do anything, and that's what hurts the most. And I know you you went back to Poch and that, and don't get me wrong, there were performances under Poch, and I love Poch, he was dad to me. But I think Poch going to be managing that team, and it's the same shit. It really is.
Yeah. I'm just going to give a quote from Jamie Redknapp on Sky. He said this: "I cannot remember a team in my lifetime who've gone down with less of a fight than Tottenham did tonight. Not a single shot on target in a semi-final second leg when you're trying to change the course of your history. I feel sorry for those young players. The manager, Jed Spence, played about 14 different positions tonight. I've never seen anything like it. There have been some lows for Tottenham this season against Everton, Palace, Leicester, Ipswich, but that scoreline, it's just horrendous." Now, listen, Jamie Redknapp hates Spurs ever since, his dad got sacked for coming fourth, but he basically nailed it, didn't he?
Yes, but I can tell you a team who showed less fight and less, desire with it. Every other time Tottenham have played in the big semi-finals and finals, I think I can remember a team, because I watch Spurs every week, and that's a hard part. I think today the scoreline didn't flatter us. It was woeful. Obviously 4-0.
It did flatter us, actually.
Sorry, you're right. Sorry, it did flatter us, but I think that I've seen that performance time and time again. Again, I love Spurs. I wouldn't travel around the world all the time to see them. But the thing is that we've seen less fight, less passion. The final against Liverpool was shit in the Champions League a few years ago, and the controversial handball and that. But again, we had no desire, no passion in that. Against Chelsea, what was it? Well, I went to I was in UK in 2019, 1-0 up in the semi-final. again, same thing. We came back to the semi-final. We lost it. 1-0 against an average Chelsea team at that. I think they were an average Chelsea team at that time. Semi-final, second leg, bottled it again. Like we showed. So Jamie Redknapp, much in case where they probably doesn't watch him enough.
I've just put it on the screen. There's a good comment from RB. Says Jamie also played with the same mentality for Spurs. That's actually true.
Oh yeah. No, it's true. I mean, the Spurs players do, unfortunately.
Yeah, listen, mate, sorry, mate. I've got lots of people to talk to, so I've got to go. But thanks so much for being a part of the show, and hopefully speak to you after a better result.
Nah, pleasure. Thanks, Barnaby. Keep it up, you and Chris. Keep it up, mate.
Bye-bye. Okay. Next up, we're going all the way to Canada with Tom. Tom, how are you feeling, mate?
Oh, that was a hard watch, I have to say. There's one thing about being tired or gassed or something like that, but the lack of heart today was really hard to watch. I mean, the kids look like kids. I mean, that was hard, but Betancourt's performance was shocking. I mean, that's a guy that has had a ton of time off, that should be coming back to the squad to prove himself. And that was just a shocking performance, to give away the ball that easily, to show no fight at all. And you could park a bus right through our midfield. I mean, that was just parting of the Red Sea and let them come through and just attack us every turn.
Yeah. Time and time again.
And I don't understand Ange's tactics, and I'm a usually an Ange defender. And to look at his tactics today was kind of like looking ahead of this game to say, well, I'm going to try to build a squad that's going to be able to be rested for Villa. Well, no, you got to play every game like it's the last. And to see the squad that he had today, and I feel bad for guys like Danso and Tell to be like, what did I get myself into today? But Danso played well. I have to say, for what he had in front of him, he played well. Tell, unfortunately, delivery, there wasn't anything, so we didn't really see much from him. But, that was the hardest part to watch, was the lack of heart, the lack of, and that it just looked like we didn't want it as much. And we could blame how tired we are. We could blame injuries. We could blame a lot of things. But, they should have fought harder. And that's what is depressing today.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to give you an example.
Going into the weekend.
I'm going to give you an example. Basuma has had time off, so he's had a rest. I mean, I know he was injured, but he's had a rest. And yet he is solely responsible, as far as I'm concerned, for us going 1-0 down with his inability to play a 5-yard pass. And it's because he loses concentration. And he does it too many times. He's got the talent to take the ball on the half turn. He's got the talent to do a lot of things. But I think he's resting on his laurels. And frankly, I think we should have been buying a replacement central midfielder who you can count to be concentrating and focused the whole game. And we don't have it. We don't have it.
No, we don't. And I agree with you. Basuma is one of those guys that for some reason, for his age, lacks that maturity and that thought process. I think that he's talented he's God-given talent, but I just don't think he has the intelligence to play the Premier League game, unfortunately. And I know that's harsh to say. But, another guy that I don't want to get away from is Richarlison. I mean, this guy's made of glass. And I understand the tempo. I understand.
They're all made of glass.
There's bad luck, but this guy's got to go. Look, I just the 60 million that we paid for him, to watch him barely make 2 games without hobbling off. And again, anyone who's ever played the game, you're going to get hurt. You're going to get hurt. You're going to get knocked around. It's the Premier League. It's a tough league. It's a rough league. It's probably the roughest out there. But I mean, he's just out of his depth. I mean, he's got to go. The only place he's going to do well is Saudi, because it's Saudi. No one's going to hurt him. He's going to go score a bunch of goals.
I agree with you on that, but I need to ask you, why do you think we have so many injuries? Why? Why do we have more injuries than everybody else?
I mean, don't get me wrong. It's hard to watch 15 guys out at one point out of the first team that are out, and it's hard not to say that it could be the training and it could be the way that we play. Unfortunately, with the bench being so short at one point, and I agree with one of the previous callers, the one from Turkey, was we waited too long into the window for injuries to get that much worse. And then when you start to bring in fresh legs, it doesn't help you. So I think that's part of it. We had a short bench. We sent out a bunch of players out on loan, and that just compounds it. But I mean, it also comes down to recruiting. Van de Ven had hamstring issues before he came to us. He was out part of the year in Germany prior to him coming. So we knew he had hamstring injuries. And don't get me wrong, unbelievable player, world class, but now has even more hamstring injuries based on the way that we play. So I think it's, it's a combination of a lot of things. Bad luck could be, but it's just going into the weekend now against Aston Villa, and I think you're right. They're going to look at us and go get in their face, rough them up, see what's going to happen, and then we'll be back on our heels. But I mean, watching Anne's press conference before this game was, I'm afraid to put Van de Ven and Romero in because we're going to hurt him again. Okay, but what would they be playing for if we're not in the Carabao Cup and we're not in the FA Cup? What are we playing for? 10th? Yeah. 9th? Play them. If they get hurt for the rest of the year, fine at this point.
I'm not sure I can agree with that, Tom, to be honest, because that is what he's doing. He's doing it with Richarlison. He got injured again. But listen, it's all subjective and it's all valid points. Listen, thanks so much for being a part of the show, mate. And I'll speak to you again, hopefully after something less depressing.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me again.
Cheers, mate. Bye. Okay. Next up, over to Ireland, one of our regulars, Paul, mate. How are you feeling?
Not great. You know what? No, I'm 43 years a Spurs fan, and this is probably as low as it's gotten, if I'm honest. Generally, it's just my nature. I generally take any loss fairly bad. I go a bit quiet and bit down for a couple of hours, but that was so poor. It was so poor.
Yeah.
Men against boys doesn't even come close. It doesn't. We just look. I know, is there an inferiority complex when we go to the likes of Anfield and the Emirates to a certain extent, maybe, or Stamford Bridge? You would pick a couple of grounds where you just fear before you go there. This is not going to go well.
Yeah.
We touched on it after the first leg. One wasn't next or near enough. That needed to be 3 at least, which it proved in the end tonight to be right because they scored 4. It needed to be at least that, and just poor performances all around it. Like Bentancur, I think on his day, and we spoke about this on Sunday, an absolute tank, a Rolls Royce of a player when he's on it. But how do you go from his performance on Sunday to his performance tonight? It's chalk and cheese.
Because he can't play 2 games in a week because he's fucking made of glass like everybody else.
Yeah, and that is also now becoming an issue. It's fine, we got injured players, bits and pieces coming back, but they're coming back to a team that are now literally on their last legs, because the players out there now have played so much that they're literally out on their feet. And if you're not injured, you're absolutely spent. It's one or the other now at the moment with the whole squad. And even on the signings, as your last caller mentioned there, waiting until the last 2 days of a transfer window to bring in some players when it should have been done in the first 2 days, because that's when we had injured players, and it only got worse as the month of January went on. Yeah. It just makes no sense to me. It really doesn't.
Let me ask you a question, Paul. It's quite a simple one. If we get knocked out of the FA Cup on Sunday, is Ange going to get sacked?
I'm Anging constantly, but my patience is starting to wear a little thin.
But put yourself in Daniel. I'm asking you, knowing Daniel Levy as you do.
Oh no, well, knowing Daniel Levy, he'll get rid of him. Absolutely, because that's just true to form. That we know he's done that numerous times. I think that I know what the fact that he spent, was it 22 or 27 million on a defender, quite possibly if the Tell loan works out, that could end up costing us 60 million. Now, if I'm honest, I don't think that, in my opinion, I don't think that was the right call, to be honest with you. Tell is not, I don't think it's kind of player, like if we are looking to either replace or get someone similar to a Solanke, which Richarlison is not. To me, why weren't we looking at maybe Evan Ferguson, someone of that stature? I know he's only young as well, but a tall, strong player, hold up a ball like Solanke. Matthias Tell is not going to do that.
Yeah, from what I heard, Evan Ferguson wasn't interested in coming to Spurs. He didn't think he'd be the main guy, and maybe that's why he's gone to West Ham.
Yeah.
Let me just, before I let you go, because I've got lots of people to talk to and only about 20 minutes left. Villa at the weekend. What do you think? Do you think I have to say I'm really fearing it now.
I like to say I'm the ultimate optimist, but yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but true to form, when we're not supposed to win or when it looks bad, we probably will.
Well, we weren't supposed to win tonight, mate.
No. You're true.
But listen. But the thing is, they've had a week off, so Emery is just going to show them all this and say, literally all you need to do is run. If you run and you get in their faces, they cannot handle it.
Absolutely. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I did. I think we could be. I think we could be in the spot of bother. And going out of 2 cups in the space of 4 days could cause untold damage for the rest of the season.
When you're in when you're 14th place in the league, he's only got the cups. That's all he's got.
Literally. Yeah.
Okay, Paul. Listen, mate. Thanks again. Good to talk to you as ever. Thanks for being part of the show. I'll speak to you after the next one. Cheers, mate. Bye. Okay. Next up, another of our regulars, Liam. Liam.
Hi.
How was it from where you were watching, mate?
Just pathetic performance, really, in my opinion. We went there with completely the wrong mindset. We went there how we always go to Anfield, like when we go to Stamford Bridge. It's the same mindset. We go there like we're 1-0 up and we go and try and sit. Why go and sit? Like, why go and defend? At least if we go, make a game of it, try and win the game. Don't sit on a 1-0 lead. 1-0, especially when you're Spurs, is never good enough. I mean, like, in my opinion, like Bentancur starting out at field, I think Bentancur's completely useless. Bentancur and Basuma, shocking midfielders. Too easy to shove off the ball. Sarr gets taken off before Basuma and Bentancur do, which I'll never understand. Because in my opinion, I think Sarr in that midfield always gives 100%. I think he's probably, along with Bergvall, our most attacking-minded midfielder. Bentancur and Basuma just sit there. I think they're all just pretty pathetic tonight. Like, I mean, bringing on Mikey Moore in the 81st minute, I completely lost and baffled, to be honest, as to why that's happened.
Yeah.
Attacking player, lots of pace, bring him on earlier, let him run at them, let him try and create something. No creativity in that team.
No pace, no creativity, and no desire and no energy. No. What do you think is going to happen with Villa at the weekend?
I think we go out and we lose 2-3-0. I have no faith in it at all. I mean, you turn up with that kind of mindset. Like tonight, in my opinion, I know I come on here and I'm anti-Levy a lot, but who else could it be? It's Levy mindset, backward mindset, losing mindset. Just getting there is good enough. We got to a semi-final, so that's fine. That's kind of what Levy's thingy throughout this club. This is what he's pushed throughout the club. Just getting there is okay. We don't actually have to win anything. We're Beyonce FC now. As long as we have Beyonce performing at the stadium and a go-kart track and a hotel, that's fine. We're a football club. We're a football club that lose and we don't win anything because our mentality is awful.
And if we do lose 2 or 3-0 to Villa, do you think Levy would then fire Ange Postecoglou after that?
I don't think Levy will sack Ange because whilst Ange is there, Levy has a buffer between him and the fans. He knows the fans are turning against him. But from what I've seen in my experience in the past, it's always for how long? Because our fans have protested before and then something changes, like bringing a signing or we win a big game.
They've never properly protested, mate.
That's what I mean.
The most has been like 150 people with an embarrassing banner.
This is exactly what I mean. Like, us as fans can say we want change. Then we need to do something. Like, I know, like, boycott games, maybe. People need to start boycotting games. Stop spending money. Stop going. If we want actual change, you have to make something happen. We can't just 150 people have a bit of a protest. We sing at the games. He hears it. That's not good enough. and nothing will change until he's gone. Mentality won't change. Just everything about us, mentality, from the club top down, losing mentality.
Okay, Liam, thanks again for being part of the show today. I'll speak to you after the Villa game, I'm sure.
Yeah, thank you for having me on.
Cheers, mate. Bye. Okay, next up, going back to Ireland with Noel. Noel, what did you make of that 4-0 demolition, mate?
I was listening to your after-match talk. I don't know what to say. I'm just exasperated, to watch such a performance. It was, they call it brutal, really. There was nothing, no passion. The whole malaise spread right across the team. I agree with you. Danso did okay. And I think Tell did okay. He made a couple of good runs. He looked energetic, something that we need. But the midfield was so poor. And I agree with you. How many goals has Basuma given away all season? You could count them. He gives a penalty away against Chelsea. And there is so many. And, Kinski was, for the first time, I could see Vicario coming back in again quickly because he looked completely devoid of confidence. It spread to him as well. Richarlison, the glass slipper man, Sonny's fallen off the cliff. I did actually like Jed Spence. I think he's improving all the time.
Yeah.
But I can't really find very many positives, And with the squad that we have, I just think actually that last season we played something like about 42, 43 games. I think tonight was close to 40 games. And with the squad that we have, we're not capable of sustaining that. And when you look at it, really, it was men against boys. And, Liverpool, it could have been more. We were lucky, actually. We were lucky that it was 4. It could have been a complete... It's embarrassing as it is, but it could have been worse. So yeah. I'm like yourself, not very happy. Lack of fight, giving the ball away cheaply. This is what I can't understand. Being pushed off the ball, Liverpool more physical, wanted it more. Everything about the whole performance, it was mind-boggling. And the fact, all we needed, even at 2-0, was a goal to bring it to extra time. And, we never woke up. It was a couple of good runs from Tell and 1 or 2 good passages of play. But, only, I don't think the Liverpool goalkeeper hardly touched the ball for the whole night. I don't think we made him make a save. So,
no, we didn't.
Really fearing for Sunday as well. And I think you're right. Villa have had a week off and they'll be licking their lips at Spurs coming to Villa. But maybe something will change. But at the moment with that squad and the amount of games that we're playing, can't see it.
Noel, thanks for being patient, mate, and thanks for being part of the show. Let's talk hopefully after a better result against Villa, but I agree with you. I'm not feeling good about it.
Okay, Barnaby, thank you very much for having me on. And
cheers, mate.
Come on, Spurs.
Thanks. Okay, next up, another regular in Steve. Steve in the Czech Republic. Steve,
hi, Barnaby.
How are you feeling?
Have a guess.
Yeah,
absolutely mortified. It was performance devoid of any kind of passion. It's so lethargic, people strolling around like I was a big fan of Bentancur most of the time, but you're getting dispossessed and Bissouma. The thing is, why after Bergvall was man of the match in the first leg, and he had a good game, took the game by the scruff of his neck, not only scoring the goal, and he plays Bissouma. I don't understand the lineup in the midfield with Bissouma at all. He's just a lazy player, as far as I'm concerned, like the other couple of chaps were saying. And I think even Bentancur's gone off the boil completely. So we need more midfielders.
Obviously, I'm just seeing on X and on Twitter some people trying to suggest that the Van Dijk elbow deserved a red card. Do you think there's anything in that, or are we just clutching at straws?
Yeah, I had a look at that as well before I came on. Yeah, I think we're clutching at straws. But some of these teams do tend to get away with these kind of fouls. The thing I was curious about or bemused, there was 2 things, and one was the penalty they got. From what I was watching, and I saw it obviously several times, I thought Kinski played the ball first. It's difficult to time it as a keeper. I thought it was a bit harsh. What did you think about the penalty? Although it's,
I haven't seen a replay close enough where I didn't see him get a touch on it. But if you say he did, but I have to say you're never, once it's given on the field, that's never being turned around for that. I don't think.
No, but I don't. So why wasn't it VAR then? Why isn't VAR?
I'm sure they will have. They will have looked at it, but I think in situations like that, they very often are like, if he doesn't get enough of the ball, do you know what I mean?
Oh,
I mean,
right, yeah.
listen,
I mean, that
this
was
is.
one. I'm not saying we would have done any better, but it was a couple of. And at the other end, I thought we had a corner.
Oh, that was completely ridiculous. But listen,
Yeah.
unfortunately, we're so bad that we can't even blame the ref, even though he was poor. It had nothing to do with
I mean,
it.
I'm not trying to blame you, but there's just one or two things that could have swung it our way. Like you said, it was maybe clutching at straws, but no, like everyone said, we were completely devoid of any kind of passion. They were winning all the first balls and second balls.
They're just showing. Sorry to interrupt, but they're just showing a replay of the third goal, right? Liverpool in the midfield, we're just jogging. We are literally just jogging. It's like 3 passes and then they're in. And this is stuff, I've been saying this for a long time. This is stuff that Manchester United have had aimed at them for years. When Roy Keane's on and they show clips of Man United when they've lost a game, and you watch all of their players jogging around. And Tottenham have become that. And I've brought it up after a few of our defeats recently. How sure are we that they're definitely playing for Ange? Obviously at Brentford it seemed like they were, but did they actually take the game into their own hands at Brentford and just like, actually the only way we're going to win is if we do like this? Whereas tonight they're just like we said, intimidated and like, oh, I'm not going to run my nuts off. I haven't got it. Or I mean, listen, if they're I know I'm just repeating myself. I know I'm repeating myself, but it's like, why are they all fucking injured? Why are they all injured? Nobody else's team have 10 of their first team players injured, and another one gets injured tonight.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but I think it comes down to the threadbare squad that we have
because they're injured. Yeah, it's threadbare because they're injured.
Well, we haven't got enough depth of squad. We haven't got enough quality.
On transfer deadline day, the Peterborough chairman, who's a bit of a character, but he was on Sky Sports News, and he's the first person I've seen say it who's on broadcast, who's not a fan, where he's like, has anybody asked the manager why he's got so many injuries? Because nobody else does, and it's not coincidence. I'm sorry, but anyway, look, before I let you go, because I have to, unfortunately, a prediction for the game against Aston Villa on Sunday.
I know what you're saying as well, that we look like we're going to get hammered, but these games never always turn out, apart from tonight. Not tonight, we lost. I think we might get a draw and take them back to our place. There you go. I'm not overconfident.
Is it replays in the 4th round? I don't even know. I got it wrong.
I don't know, to be honest. But it might go to penalties, and then it would be a disaster. No, on paper they're better than us after tonight's performance, but maybe you'll G them up. No, I don't think they threw it. Going back to what you're saying, sorry, I know you've got other people, but I don't think the players, it's a semi-final. So, they also want silverware as players. Come on. So I don't think they threw it. I thought the lineup and the whole thing was pathetic. We didn't have an out. We didn't have an out in the first half with Richarlison. I think we've been extremely unlucky rather, that Solanke got injured. It's bad enough Mickey van der Ven, but Solanke, we didn't have that out, that hold-up player that could bring in other people. So, so anyway.
Steve, thank you so much, mate, for being a part of the show. Appreciate it. Let's talk after what will hopefully be a better result on Sunday.
Yeah, okay. See you later, Barnaby.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye. And over to Brazil now with G. G, what have you got for us? Any positivity at all? Oh, you're on mute, G. You're on mute. You're muted. Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, that's the kind of day we're having, isn't it, really?
There we go.
Hello, Barnaby. All right, mate. I do actually really, really enjoy your commentary. I followed you about, I really like your channel as well.
There's a but coming here.
Oh, get me fucking hell.
No, I just mean there's a but. Like you're about to say but.
No, it's not a but.
All right.
Thank you. That's it. I really like it, and I try and get people to come over to your channel because I think you deserve the subs. I like the stuff you do on there.
Cheers, mate. How do you feel about getting absolutely
in another world, though? I would say that you completely lost it again today, as you do, and I totally understand why you lost it. But. And you say these things the same thing, and I just want to address that really, because on one part you say one thing, and I understand it. We're all hurt. We've just lost a game against the best club in the world, let's face it, probably. Do you know what I mean? And when you say men against boys, yes, probably true as well, because we've got 18 and 17-year-old kids out there, haven't we? We've got two players that haven't even played for us before playing tonight. And you expect, and everyone else expects, for some reason, because we managed, when we had a forward, a striker, all game, Solanke, that we managed to get a bye on a win when Bissouma, for once in his life, didn't actually make a mistake. For some reason, you think this is some kind of a catastrophe. You have no right to do that. None of us have. None of us have a right.
Of course we do. We have absolutely our right to feel how we feel about the football club.
You have a right to feel how you feel, but not to make those excuses, because there's no excuse on that. They are the excuses. I want to know what position didn't Gray play tonight?
Let me give you an example of something that would have impressed me tonight. If after 10 minutes, where we could literally all see that we were getting completely outnumbered in midfield and there was huge gaps down the middle and we were just embarrassing, he took off Son Heung-min and brought on Lucas Bergvall and put 4 in the middle of midfield and said, get around that. And then at least each time we had the ball, we'd have another extra option to pass it to. But he didn't. He's unwilling to. And he didn't even make changes at halftime when we could all see that Sarr and Bissouma had to come off. And then he made it 10 minutes later when it was already 2-0 and the game had gone.
It would have made a slightest bit of difference. Those 10 minutes worth of a sub. That's basically what your whole argument is on here, Barnaby. I've got to be honest.
No, my argument I just told you was he should have. My argument was he should have made a change.
On the one hand, you say, oh, they look knackered, they're spent, nobody's got the energy. And on the other hand,
he should have made a change after 10 minutes of the game.
They've got Uncle Joe on their back with a whip. You know what I mean? They don't have the energy. They're knackered. They're gone. Porro couldn't play, because if Porro played, you'd be the first down his throat saying, why did he play Porro? No wonder he's injured.
But did you hear what I said about he should have made a change after 10 minutes of the game?
After 10 minutes, the game wouldn't have made any difference. One player wouldn't have made a difference today. Not one player. He doesn't have the players to make a difference. It's not Liverpool. We're not Liverpool, Barnaby.
Okay,
you better get used to it, mate. We've just come in out. We are 6. Barnaby, hold on a minute. We are 6 games, as we've spoken before, 6 games into a 3-day period where we were with Germany and back. We didn't even have a chance. There's no chance to train. Postecoglou said this. You must have heard this. You've reported it yourself. And yet you're saying, what's happening with the training? Why are all these injuries? No, we have the most amount of games in the shortest amount of time than any other club in the world right now. And we're still on only the 6th of 7 games where we only have a 3-day turnaround. We play Villa when? It's hardly worth them getting on the bus and going back home, is it, to the hotel? And before they get up to Villa, they might as well just go down to Villa and go, I'll call it a day, lads. You know what I mean?
How do we have more games than any other Europa League team?
No, we've had more games in quick succession for the past 3 months relentlessly than any other team. Look it up. It comes in at 3.66 games a day. All these other teams, they have full squads. Look at the 2 players.
We've literally just played a team tonight who've played exactly the same amount of games as us.
Yeah, and look at the squad they've got. Are they playing all their players
injured?
Half of their
none
players
of them are injured, G. None of them are injured.
So
why do we have so many injuries?
Barnaby, they brought on 2 players, man, that would like wipe out, would just walk straight into our club, man for man, right? And we're talking about kids here. Gray and that, believe it or not, are still kids. They're still children. They wouldn't be playing normally, right? Man for man, are you telling me that our squad is better than Liverpool's?
No, but I'm telling you that
I expect, and that's it, and that's all there is to it. Man for man, who has the better squad, the least amount of injuries?
Yeah. So why do we have so many injuries, G?
Why? Because we're fitting so many games into such a short amount of time.
Oh, at Liverpool,
but they have a full squad.
We have a full squad as well. We have 25 players.
No, yeah, they do, but they don't have. They have a full. All right, our full squad. Then, if you want to play that game, all right, then Barnaby. Our full squad.
I'm asking you why we get so many injuries.
I'm asking you. Our full squad, right, which is in a project mode at the moment. We're trying to get other players in to replace others. Our full squad versus Liverpool, man for man, right, as a full squad. Which squad has the better team? Would you say, player for player?
But you're totally ignoring my point.
No, you're nothing. Answer me the question.
You're ignoring my point, because my whole point is, which you say I bang on about, is why have we got so many injuries? Why? That is the problem. I say it all the time. I'm like, I want it to work for Ange Postecoglou. I like him a lot. Why did it work? Why has he got so many more injuries than everybody else?
I've answered your question. I've said exactly the same thing that you have also said.
No, because you said because we played more games than anyone else, but tonight we played Liverpool and they haven't had that many injuries. Why? Why? They haven't had any injuries, in fact.
Because they've got a full squad. They haven't changed. Their squad's practically the same as when we played them in the Champions League, and they've strengthened.
So then maybe you're just misusing
the word. Maybe you're just, and have a look at the teams. Look at the squad.
Maybe you're just misusing the word full, because we also had a 25-man squad, but we had 10 or 12 of them out injured.
So man for man, right? If we had all of our squad together at the moment, man for man, would you say that our squad is better than Liverpool's squad?
No. Why would I ever say that?
Well, there you go. Case closed.
The case of what?
And why do you expect that our depleted squad is going to go out there and thrash Liverpool tonight?
Well,
without Solanke and without Bissouma making a mistake.
I've never said we're going to thrash anyone. What I'm
saying, you're not going to thrash, no, but don't get on the words on it, Barnaby. Don't manipulate what I'm saying. What you're saying is you expected us to go out there and win tonight.
No, I never said that either. I expect us to put in a performance that had some desire and some kind of balls and some kind of grit and some kind of determination.
I know the players aren't fit and they've got no legs in them. So how do you expect that to happen?
Because it's a semi-final and you fucking work your nuts off.
Of course they do, but you're not out there.
If you watch it back and you watch them all jogging as the players run through the centre of midfield,
right,
you come back and tell me players like, go and watch it. I've literally been watching.
You really think, Barnaby, do you really think that those players just couldn't be bothered today because we won 1-0 and now they can't be bothered because there's a cup final coming up? Come on.
I honestly think players like Yves Bissouma just don't have the right mentality to do what is needed to play this style of football.
I agree. You've picked on one player. That's true. Yeah. But we need the other players. We need, like Liverpool have, we need like those two players they pull on their first substitutes. You said it yourself. What was that? Like 100 million's worth. And it weren't like a lot of their players, Klopp did a fantastic job. And this is Klopp's side, remember, don't forget. They did a great job. They got a great team. It's one of the best in the world. And you're expecting what we've got to go out there and like with no legs in them, knackered, getting injuries, you then want them to actually go that extra mile then and make more injuries. That's why Richarlison's out. We don't have another substitute. We got one in tonight. His first time. He's our only striker. We only had Solanke. That's why we got through in the first leg. I just don't get it, Barnaby. What you say is I understand, mate. I understand.
But we're all got to let you go now, mate, because we've got 3 minutes.
We're all grieving. Last thing. We're all grieving, mate, and I get it. I do respect you a lot, but I just think what you're saying contradicts yourself so much. And I understand why. It's because we've lost. None of us like it. We just have to take a minute and just have a look at the real situation. You know?
Yeah, well, gee, I think for you to suggest that I'm getting too emotional and too passionate is a little bit like pot and kettle. But anyway, thanks a lot for coming on. See you later. Bye. Okay, guys, I'm afraid Jonathan over there in Florida, I'm afraid you were on the list to go on earlier, but you weren't there. But I will speak to you at the next game. Unfortunately, the G1 went overtime, so I'm not able to fit you in. But call in after the next one, and we'll definitely get you on. Guys, listen, thanks for watching. 1 second, actually, I've got to do this. 1 second. Guys, that is the end of tonight's fan show. If you'd like to appear on a future episode, email tottenhamfanchris@gmail.com. Also, please make sure you watch tonight's Spurs Chat podcast starting in just 2 minutes' time. Chris Cowlin will be doing it with Craig Dearman, Josh Cowam, and Blake Derry. That will be on a different stream, but on the same channel. So just go and find that there. And obviously, it's been a terrible night tonight. Maybe they'll surprise us at the weekend. Who knows? But thanks for watching. Cheers. Bye.